Hello, hi, namaskar students. Just give me a quick response. Am I clearly audible? Are we visible? Can we get started with this live analysis of our 28th January second shift? So yes, this is the final analysis we are coming up with for the session 1. I hope you all are set. You all are prepared. I can see a lot of students waiting, and let's get started with what do we have here. So great. I think we can get started straight away with what we have so far, with what we have received so far in terms of questions. Can we get started, students? Are you all there online? Give me a quick response. Are we clearly visible? Are we clearly audible? And can we get started with this? So yes, we have received questions from mathematics. We have started receiving the questions, and you will be surprised that yes, it is a question. Can you guess from which chapter the first question could be? Yes, it is from binomial theorem. Yes, binomial theorem with sequence and series is getting merged, and we'll be seeing a question right there from that. So let's get started. I think Gaurav sir, Sumit sir are also ready. They are fetching their own questions, and once we are on the same page, we'll get started. But before that, let's discuss the first question for the day. Let's see what do we see here. So we are starting the analysis of mathematics section. Once we are done with the questions from mathematics section, we'll definitely move towards the next section, which could be either physics or chemistry, depending whichever or whoever is ready. Let's get started, students. I hope you all are there, ready, set, and very well prepared and geared up. Can you see a question right there on the screen? Can you all try it? Can you all give it a try? And of course, most of you must have attempted or seen this question in the examination hall in the question paper. How many of you have attempted this question, and what was your approach? What was your strategy? And which option did you get as the correct answer? Do tell us, do share us so that we can straight away get started. So what is it saying? The sum of coefficients of x to the power 499 and x to the power 500 in the binomial expansion of. So this expansion is what you are being discussed. So there are two approaches. First approach is you figure out the coefficient of x to the power 499 in this, then this, then this, then this, and then work it out based on a pattern. Yes. Hello, hi everyone. And based on that pattern, you may be either forced to use this particular formula where you are using NCR plus NCR plus 1. I hope you remember it is N plus 1R and plus CR plus 1. Or what you can do is you can think, or you can observe a little more cautiously and work out what pattern you're seeing. Can you help me with the pattern you're cracking here in this question? Can you not see that, sir? It looks like a geometric progression. Can you see that? If not, let us see it together. So what are we seeing here? That 1 plus x to the power 1000. Now look at this part. So here the power was 1000, but here the power became 999, then power became 998, and so on. So the power of 1 plus x is decreasing. Great, okay. But with that, one more observation you must be making here. The power of x was 0, then power of x was 1, then power of x was 2, and so on. So I hope you must have seen the pattern. And with that, if I were to write, or if I were to say some kind of GP, yes, this is an expression. Yes, JEE Aspirant, this is an expression, right? So if I were to write this summation, sum of n terms of a GP, but when I write the sum of n terms of a GP, can you not help me with the first term? Will you not help me that, sir, here 1 plus x to the power 1000 will be the first term? This could be treated as our A first. Yes, first term. What about the common ratio, students? Can you help me with the common ratio as well? I hope most of you must have cracked. Sir, 1 plus x, the power of 1 plus x is decreasing, which means 1 plus x must be dividing it. So 1 plus x is there in the denominator, and power of x is increasing by 1. So which means x upon 1 plus x is going to be the common ratio. That's brilliant. JEE Aspirant. I'm sure you must have done it. Brilliant. Perfect. So with that, s is given by a times 1 minus r to the power n. So 1 minus a is what? A is our first term, which is given by 1 plus x to the power 1000 times whole of 1 minus r. What is r, students? R is given by x upon x plus 1 whole raised to the power number of terms. If I were to ask you number of terms, I hope you can see it very clearly. Here I'm seeing x to the power 0. Here I'm seeing x to the power 0. But here I'm seeing x to the power 1000. So there are 1001 terms. Can you all crack that? Yes, that's great, students. So keep responding. With that, I'll say that here I'm seeing 1001 terms. So A 1 minus r to the power n upon 1 minus r. Do you remember the formula of sum of n terms of a GP? So not always you need to simply straight away start solving a question. When you see a question, look at the data given to you, strategize, optimize, which could be a better approach. A lot many times students are in a rush to straight away start solving the question, and that's a problem. Look at the data, strategize, optimize what can be a better approach. Instead of just straight away start solving the question, look for more clues, look for more better optimization so that you can get the answer with lesser number of steps, with better solution. I hope you are understanding the idea here. With that, 1 minus r is needed to be done. 1 is 1. What is r? Sir, r is clearly nothing but x upon 1 plus x. Everyone with me on this? If I were to simplify this in the denominator, I can clearly see 1 plus x minus x, that is 1. So it will be 1 upon x plus 1. I hope you all would agree with that. And when you wish to simplify this, what you get is, let's multiply this inside. So when I multiply this inside, what do I clearly get is, let's say this x plus 1, when flips and comes in the numerator, it increases the power here. So it becomes, I hope you are understanding, this comes in the numerator. Everyone with me? So 1 plus x, 1 plus x. So this becomes 1 plus x to the power. This becomes 1 plus x to the power 100, and this gets cancelled from here. Everyone with me on this? Did you all understand whatever I have done so far without any confusion? Can we move ahead from here? Everyone with me on this data? Now, how is the paper difficulty? Vijay, I think the students would be in a better position to tell you this, but right now at this stage, I'll be solving the first question which we have received. So great, Abhirami. Let's solve. What do we see further from here? I'll say let's multiply this inside so that I get only two binomial expansions. And with that, we can very easily see what could be the coefficients of x to the power 499 and x to the power 500. So from here, I'll say this when multiplied to this gives you s as 1 plus x to the power 1001 minus. When you multiply this here, I hope you can clearly see x plus 1 to the power 1001, x plus 1 to the power 1001. So this gets nullified, and what are you left with? We are left with x to the power 1001. Everyone with me on this? Are you all clear? Are you all clearly understanding this? From here, would you not say that, sir, this clearly is simply a term in x which is having a power 1001, which clearly is not going to give me neither this nor this. So with that, I am not concerned about this. I am clearly very much concerned about this. So 1 plus x to the power 1001. If I were to ask you the coefficient of x to the power 499, will you not say it will be 1001 c 499? I hope you remember that. Plus, because I need the sum. So plus what? The coefficient of x to the power 500. It will be 1001 c 500. Everyone with me on this? Are you all there? Now, do you remember the formula which I had shared with you while beginning to solve this question? NCR plus NCR plus 1. Remember this formula, by heart this formula, memorize this formula. JEE in this session 1 has asked at least one question in every single shift based on this particular identity. So with that, what we'll be doing here is n gets increased by 1 and you write the bigger r, which is r plus 1 here. With that, if I were to use the same logic, 1001, 1001, 499, 500. Can you help me with the final answer? Yes, it will be 1002 C 500. I hope there is no confusion on that. 1002 C 500, and on the basis of that data, which option are you supposed to mark? Great, 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 great. Option 2 needs to be marked. Are you all there listening, understanding, watching, and clearly getting how should you approach such category of questions? So with that, I'm very much sure Gaurav sir and Sumit sir must be ready. So who is joining? Let me ask them. Let me ask them so that I get a response, and then we can switch it to either Gaurav sir or Sumit sir. Yes, 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 yes. The answer should be, oh yes. No, no, Abhirami, you need to understand the bigger r. So r plus 1. So we need to take r plus 1. R is already 499. So r plus 1 is 500. So this option B needs to be marked as the correct option. Great, 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 great. That's brilliant, students. So keep responding. Sumit sir is already there. So I am ending it from my end.
Just a minute. It's not opening. Note is not working. Okay. Okay. So we are having two questions in physics as of now, and these two questions looks very easy, straightforward. Let us see that. A block of mass m is placed on a smooth inclined plane making an angle theta Okay, so this is our inclined plane and this is making an angle theta. Okay, with the horizontal, the inclined plane inclined plane itself is accelerating horizontally with a constant acceleration a naught. So block is like this plane is smooth and it is going with acceleration a naught, this inclined plane. Find the time taken by the block to reach the bottom. Now two things are there. One thing is, what if this acceleration is very high that there is no contact between the two? Then it will be a free fall, but we will not consider that case because it's not mentioned. Okay, it's not mentioned. Now we will consider that their contact is maintained. Now my reference frame is this inclined plane. Now with respect to inclined plane, it has to reach at the bottom. So when I make the inclined plane as my reference, I will apply a pseudo force. How much? Mass of block into a naught. This is my pseudo force. Okay, now with respect to inclined plane, this is my pseudo force, another force is mg, another force is the normal. Okay, so the acceleration in the direction along the inclined plane will be due to these two forces, ma naught and mg. So ma naught, this component will be ma naught cos of theta, because this is also theta, and mg horizontal component means along the inclined plane component is, that is mg sin theta. So this acceleration, this my relative acceleration in this direction of the block, how much is that? A naught cos theta plus g sin theta. How much is the length? Length is my distance, is my L. Okay. Now use acceleration is constant, v square minus u square is equals to 2s. No, what we need? We need time. Okay, so s is equals to ut plus half a t square, u is 0. So half into a relative into t square. So from here t comes out to be root of 2l by a relative. That is root of 2 into l divided by, what is a relative? A naught cos theta plus g sin theta. Which option it is? 2l by a naught cos theta plus g sin theta. A option? Yeah. Okay. A option is coming here. I hope you all are able to understand this very simple, straightforward, easy question. Another question is of logic gates. Logic gates are asked. Many of the shifts we have seen logic gates questions, simple questions. Let us see for the circuit given below, identify the logic gate. Now this is a logic gate. Which gate it is? We need to see. Okay. This 5 volt. 5 volt works as 1. 0 volt works as 0. Okay. Now what will be my output Y depending upon A and B? Let us make the truth table A, B, Y. 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. Let us try now. 0, 0 means low voltage, 0 volt and 0 volt. If this is 0 volt and 0 volt, it will be forward biased. If it will be forward bias, there is no potential drop in the forward bias, output will be 0. When it is 0, 0, output will be 0. Okay. Now let us try 0, 1. 0, 1, this will be reversed bias. 0, 1 means 5 volt. Okay. This will be reversed bias, it will not conduct, it will be forward bias. Okay, forward bias means 0 potential, so this will become 0, so this is also 0, 0. Then 1, 0, okay, so 0, 1, 1, 0 will be same, 0 only. Now last 1, 1, 1, 1 means both 5 volt, 5 volt, this is 5 volt, this is 5 volt, both are reverse bias. If both are reverse bias, they will not conduct, it will like an open circuit, 5 volt will appear here. 5 volt will appear here, so we will have 1. So what it is? 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1. It is 1 only when both are 1. It means it is a AND gate. It's a AND gate. A option is correct. Sir, what was the reason you left blue coaching? I think I was not. Okay. I was going to be like, what is blue coaching? Okay, growth opportunities basically. Okay, so I think now we will have some, so when we have better opportunities, we have to move. Okay, so I think now we will have some questions on chemistry. Let us see. Let us see if we have some questions on chemistry and maths. I think in physics we only have, okay, till now we have only received these two questions. So these two questions were simple, pretty simple, isn't it? Like this question, just by looking at this you can solve. We know that 2 pi root h by g, we have that formula, okay, for the time. My acceleration relatively become this, so directly you can write uniformly accelerated motion. Anyways, this also straightforward.
Can see me, hear me. You all can see the screen which I have shared. I hope it is properly visible to everyone. Can we see this question? Are you all there? Just give me a quick response. The screen which I have just shared, is it properly visible to all the participants? Great, great, great. So with that, how do I proceed with this data? Look at this. Summation R is from 1 to 25. Have you not seen such category of questions previously? Have you not seen this kind of questions previously where you are given R to the power 4 plus R square plus 1? You have been told this particular identity. Yes, yes, yes. You have been told this particular identity even in quadratic and even in telescopic sum, even in sequence series and a lot of places. Even in inverse trigonometric functions, we use this particular one. This is something which is IITJ loves asking. I hope you remember that. So how do we factorize this one? R to the power 4 plus R square plus 1. We all can write it as R square plus 1 whole square minus R square. Do you remember that? Because it will be expanded as R to the power 4 plus 2r square plus 1. So from that 2r square, this r square gets subtracted, and this is how you can write it. But what is the advantage of it? Now look at this part. This r to the power 4 plus r square plus 1 can be written as a square minus b square. So this becomes a plus b. I hope you all are there. But remember, b is r. B is not r square. So a plus b will be r square plus 1 plus r. That is r square plus r plus 1. And what is a minus b? A minus b will be a minus b. That will be r square plus 1 minus r, which you wish to write, then you can written as r square minus r plus 1. Everyone comfortably understanding it? Can I move ahead with that? Yes, 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 yes. Great, great, great. So with that, when I wish to write this particular summation, yes, I hope most of you must have clearly understood telescoping sum, VN method. Do you remember that? Yes, that's exactly what we'll be doing here. So I'll be writing it as summation R is from 1 to 25, R is from 1 to 25 whole divided by this expression split it into two factors which are clearly R square plus R plus 1 times what? R square minus R plus 1. So to have that telescoping sum, I'll split this R into two, difference or sum of these two expressions. Now, how do I do it? If I have R square plus R plus 1, and from this, if I subtract this, I'll get R square minus R plus 1, then I hope you are seeing R square and R square are cancelled, 1 and 1 are cancelled, but this R and this R gives me 2R, but I'm having only 1R. So if I'm getting 2R in the numerator, to balance it out, should I not have 2 in the denominator? Did you get that part? I hope you are understanding it comfortably and clearly. With that, if I could proceed further from here, what do I see? What do I see, students? 1 by 2 times, please pay attention, summation of this upon whole of this minus this upon whole of this. So this upon whole of this and this are nullified. So you're left with 1 upon r square minus r plus 1 minus this upon whole of this. So this cancels this. So this gets cancelled. You are left with 1 in the numerator, and this is what you're left with the denominator. So 1 upon what? 1 upon r square plus r plus 1. I hope there is no confusion on that front. Are you all clearly understanding it and watching it very clearly? With that, sir, what is the point of doing all this? Why are we doing all this? Have a look at this. Summation R is ranging from 1 to 25. I hope most of you must have started noticing that, sir, a telescoping sum will start getting formed with this and this kind of expression. If you don't believe me, you can start putting the values of R 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and still start seeing terms getting cancelled. But you should have faith in this, that here every single term will get cancelled except for the first and the last term. Somebody is asking, incredible boy is asking, sir, if you ask me about the paper, then I must say that the paper was difficult and it was lengthy. Every question needed conceptual knowledge and I should now give a try and take a drop from terrace. No, boy, don't ever try to think of this. Even if it is a joke, don't create such jokes. Please don't say like something like that. Everybody, please remember that. Don't even think something like that. Even if it is a joke or for fun, if you are saying, don't say something like that. So here, when I put r as 1, I hope you'll understand. When 1 is kept here, 1 minus 1, 0. So this is 1 by 1. So I'll start with 1 by 1. And of course, outside we already have this 1 by 2. Then minus, when I put r as 1 here, 1, 1, 1. That leaves me with 1 by 3. I hope you are getting it very clearly. Then when I replace r by 2, please start paying attention. When you replace r by 2, 2 square is 4. Minus 2. So 2 minus 2, sorry, 4 minus 2 is 2, 2 plus 1 is 3. So this gives you 1 by 3. I hope you have started seeing the pattern. Minus, when you replace a 2 here, 4 plus 2, 6 plus 1, 7. So this leaves you with a 7. But you need not do all this. You just need to understand what is going to happen in the end. So finally, I hope you have started seeing this is how things are getting cancelled. So I just need to look at the last term. Last term means R when replaced by 25 here will be your last term. So this minus that will be your final answer. Now, great, Uttam, that's great to hear that. So you need not write this term, please understand. I hope you must have understood that we should avoid wasting time. So with that, how I write the last term of the last term, I need to replace r by 25 here. So 625 plus 25 plus 1. Are you all getting it? So 625 plus 25, that is 650 plus 1 is 651. So this will be 1 by 651, and there you'll have a certain term which we need not write. It could be something, but it will be futile. It will be completely useless. So here I'm seeing this kind of cancellation happening, and you're left with this and this. So 1 minus 1 by 651 whole multiplied by 1 by 2 would be the answer. And with that, when you move ahead further, I think you can do the calculation. You'll get an answer in P by Q form, and you can do P plus Q. Great. Array. Come on, boys. Come on, girls. Don't say something like that in the comment box. Avoid using such language. Let's avoid using such kind of bullying or harassment or leg pulling here. Let us be more supportive. Great. So some people are here for fun. You keep having fun. We keep learning. I hope all the other students who are focused and sincere are clearly watching it happening over here. Can we move ahead with the next question? Let's see what do we face in the next question. An amazing one, an interesting one, and a very insightful one. Great. So yeah, even I have also started enjoying the comments. Now, when I look at this particular part, except for this part, I think the rest of the terms are very simple. I repeat, the rest of the terms are really simple. What do I mean by that? See, 10. So everywhere you can see this 10. So 10 is that fixed value. But if you look at this 2 to the power 0, 2 to the power 1, 2 to the power 2, 2 to the power 3, until 2 to the power 24. Similarly, in the denominator, 3 to the power 25, 3 to the power 24, 3 to the power 23. Are you not realizing the question with which we started our session? It is clearly matching with that approach. It is clearly matching with that same pattern. So same pattern based question, the second question based on summation of a GP. But to confuse you, they have introduced a term here. So you can get rid of this term. Everyone with me on this. So I'll keep it aside and I'll think of this summation. Now, if I start thinking of this summation, I can very clearly see that I can take 10 common from here. So this is clearly 6 upon 3 to the power 26 plus when you take 10 common, you're left with what? You're left with 1 by 3 to the power 25 plus 2 by 3 to the power 24 plus 2 square by 3 to the power 23 and so on until the last term is attained, which is 2 to the power 24 by 3 to the power 1. So if I were to ask you how many terms are there, what is the first term, what is the common ratio? Great. Dhir Biswas, we are really happy that some people are still there who are claiming that maths paper was not that hard. Great. So with that, I hope you all can help me in cracking the first term here. I hope you all can see it. This could be the first term. This would be definitely be the first term. What about the common ratio here, students? What am I multiplying it with so that I'm getting this? So I'm having a 2 here. So that common ratio is having 2 in the numerator. But what about the denominator? So sir, you're multiplying it by 1 by 3 in the denominator. So are you not seeing? Basically, we are multiplying it by 2 into 3 in each term. I hope you can see it. When you multiply this term by 2 into 3, that 3 gives you a 3 to the power 24 here and 2 here. Let's say I multiply this by 2 into 3. What I get? 3 to the power 23 and 2 square here. So we have cracked the common ratio. I hope you all are clearly understanding the common ratio will be 6. How many terms are here? If I were to ask you, this 1, instead of calling it a 1, can I not say this can be called as a 2 to the power 0? So 2 to the power 0 to 2 to the power 24, which means there are 25 terms. So there are 25 terms. Can you not help me in writing the sum of these 25 terms? You all are pretty good at finding the summation of n terms of a GP. Except for this term, we'll keep it aside, 6 upon 3 to the power 26 plus a. What is a? This 10 will stay outside like this only. What is a here, students? A is your first term. That is again nothing but what? That is 1 by 3 to the power 25. So a, which is 1 by 3 to the power 25 times 1 minus r, or r to the power n minus 1. R is greater than 1, so I'll take it r to the power n, which is 25, minus 1 upon r minus 1. Everyone is able to understand all of this comfortably, students? Are you all there without any confusion and all? With that, when you move ahead, with that, when you go ahead, I hope it's just a matter of simplifying this so that you can get the final answer. I hope you all are there. Now, morning shift maths is lengthy. Yes, it was, Vishwas. It indeed was. Did not get time to do because of chemistry. Okay, KP, that's great. We really appreciate those kind of students who are more inclined towards chemistry. Trust me, if you are investing in devoting more time to chemistry, it is definitely a good idea. We as a teacher, we all know, in the fraternity of mathematics teacher, we all say for IIT chemistry is what you should fall in love with. But maths as a subject is so addictive in nature that once you start enjoying it, once you start solving it, you fall in love with this and you actually get trapped into this, what should I say, attraction or whatever you wish to call it. So yeah, I think simplifying this is a really simple idea. You need not put much effort in this case. Can you simplify it from here? All you need to do is 6 minus 1 is 5. So I keep that 5 here. So if I wish to simplify this, am I having some space here, or can I write it on the next page? The next page will be fine. 6 upon 3 to the power 26. So 6 upon 3 to the power 26 is what I'll write here. Plus, when I push it inside, 10 into 1 by 3 to the power 25. So this will be 10 upon 3 to the power 25 into what? Into, I'm already seeing 6 minus 1, that is 5. So I'll write a 5 here. I will write a 5 here times what? Times, I can clearly see 6 to the power 25 minus 1. So this will give me 6 to the power 25 minus 1. Everyone with me on this? I hope there is no confusion on that. Okay, great, 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 great. Okay, so with that, when I go ahead, I hope you can clearly see, if I wish to simplify this, 6 upon 3 to the power 26. I need not do much here. I'll keep it intact so that I can see some pattern here. And here, when I start solving this, 5, 10 is clearly how much? This is 2. I hope you all are there. So this 2 upon 3 to the power 25 when multiplied to this 2 into 6 to the power 25, right? This is 6 to the power 25. So I'll keep it like this, 6 to the power 25 upon 3 to the power 25. Everyone listening and understanding? Minus of course, this 2 is getting multiplied to this, and then you are left with 2 by what? 3 to the power 25. I hope from here simplifying this is not a tough task. You all have understood that. Great, 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 great. Somebody is saying 64 questions are attempted by that guy. That's brilliant. That's perfect. So from here, I hope you all can do this calculation, simplify this and mark the correct option. This clearly is not a tough task. I hope marking the right option is not a difficult task. The only tricky part was there arranging this data and cracking the logic here, that here it is simply a GP with a simple common ratio 6. Everyone with me on this? Can I move ahead from here? Can we call either Gaurav sir or Sumit sir now so that we can have them? So let me ask who is available. Let me see. Whosoever responds, I'll end the stream and then they'll join and make you solve questions from chemistry and physics. But so far, I hope there is no confusion on that. Whatever is done so far, you are comfortably understanding everything. Great, 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 great. So let me see who is there responding. Nobody has responded. So let's keep waiting so that somebody joins and responds and concludes. By the way, how was your paper, students? How was your paper? Okay. So ending the stream, and so that Gaurav sir is already there. So I'm ending the stream from my end and Gaurav sir will be there online.
Yes, guys. Hello. So I have got few questions for you, friends. So, how was your paper? Let's see who have joined us already. So, Rajesh, Flame, HCR, Vishwas. Yes, Vishwas, how are you? Vishwas is saying I had attempted 68 questions in total. Perfect, Vishwas. I hope they are correct. Dheer has attempted 73. Uttam, Vishwas. Okay, no, but not that tough. Okay, so let us now attempt some questions from chemistry. So we are having, I mean, initially in the first half also the initial questions that we get, I mean, the students, what they remember the very first time is the easiest question. So the easier questions are obviously delivered by students early, and the typical questions are followed after that. So a very simple question from chemical kinetics. So I hope you remember from 21st of January, I'm saying this, saying what? From 21st of January, I'm saying you, for chemical kinetics, you have to learn for integrated rate law equation for first order reaction, second order reaction, and the Arrhenius equation. Now, this is a simple question of Arrhenius equation. You do not have to pick up your pen. What is the equation? Rate constant K is equal to Arrhenius factor A, I mean the Arrhenius constant A into E exponential of minus of activation energy upon RT. Take log. So ln of K will be equal to ln of A, and this becomes minus EA upon RT, because log of x to the base x is 1. So log of exponential to the base exponential is 1. Morning shift chemistry is moderate and easy. Yes, beta. I mean, it was moderate. Rather, it was not difficult, but yes, some questions was taking much of time. So because of the options given, so it was bit lengthy, but yes, it was quite doable. Now, so what about this, sir? But they are saying make a graph of log of K and 1 upon T. So make this as log. So this becomes log of K becomes equal to log of A with a factor 2.303. So this becomes minus EA upon 2.303 R into 1 upon T. Why writing 1 upon T separately? Because this is, let's say, Y. This is, let's say, X. So Y is equal to, I hope you can see the straight line. This becomes your slope C. This becomes your intercept C, and this becomes your slope M. So slope M is minus EA. This is also right. And what about the intercept? Intercept is a positive intercept. So option A, you do not have to move your pen. What is the paper level, beta? As far as whatever we were expecting, it has easy, but some questions are taking time to solve. That's it. I mean, there's no much of difficulty, but yes, because you are given to complete the question at a in a specified period of time, therefore it is lengthy, or else it is quite doable and easy. Moderate to easy. Yes, Flammer. Yes, Samurug. I'm sorry if I'm reading that name inappropriately. Sai Murugesh. Geshin. So, Sai, I hope you are also saying it's moderate. So moving to the next question, a simple question from NCERT. You just have to know that energy of packet. What is the energy of any electromagnetic radiation? Sir, it is directly proportional to frequency, and this energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. We know this. And what is the packet of energy formula? It is equal to h nu, or it is equal to hc by lambda. That means we know that frequency is equal to the constant speed of light c upon wavelength. So this is done. Now you just have to compare the energies. But what the data is given? For A, its wavelength is given. For B, frequency is given. And for C, wave number is given. Now, let us calculate wavelength for all. Why? Because wavelength for A is already given. Wave number is reciprocal of, so this for wavelength of A is simply 400 nanometer. What is nanometer? Deci, centi, milli, micro, nano. Fifth finger, as in -1, -2, -3, -6, -9. So this becomes 4 into 10 raised to the power -7 meters. Perfect, sir. Now, what about lambda c? Because wave number is nothing but reciprocal of wavelength. So because wave number is given, so 1 upon wave number will be wavelength, and it is given out to be 10 is power 4. But make a note of the unit because it's in per centimeter. So this wavelength will come in centimeters, and 1 centimeter is equal to 10 is power minus 2 meters. So this becomes 10 is power minus 6, or else if I write in minus 7, so it will be 10 into 10 is power minus 7 meters. So we can clearly see wavelength of C is greater, wavelength of A is lesser. Now let us calculate for the middle one, which is wavelength of B. How to calculate, sir? For B, frequency, what is 1 upon second, sir? 1 upon second is hertz. So you just have to do this simple mathematics. So because this is hertz, so wavelength will be equal to C by frequency. What is the value of C, sir? Speed of light is a constant, which is 3 into 10 to the power 8. Upon this, that is 10 raised to the power 16 hertz. So this is 3 into 10 raised to the power minus 8, because I mean obviously that is lesser. So if you do the order of wavelength, so whose wavelength is largest, sir? Wavelength of, you can clearly see wavelength of largest is of C, then of A, and least is of B. So what will be the order of energy? Sir, energy is inversely proportional to wavelength. So energy of B will be highest, then A, and least will be C. So B highest and least is of C. So option B is your correct answer. You just have to do that basic into divide. Yes, very easy question, but you have to be vigilant about the time that you are consuming in order to come to the answer. Anuj, had you, okay, somebody is having questions with having a discussion with each other. Somebody is saying it was the easiest shift in JEE history. So Flammer, Flame HCR, it is good that you have attempted all the questions. Then I'm very happy for you. And when Kata is saying easy question, yes, this is a definitely easy question. So moving to the next question. Now, the next question is also a easy question. You can say from periodicity and chemical bonding, we already know that HX is a polar molecule. Yes, it is polar because of the electronegativity of halogen is much higher. So this is minus and this is plus. So attraction between polar molecule is what is the intermolecular attraction between a polar molecule? So this is a dipole, so dipole-dipole attraction. Extent of dipole-dipole attraction increases as size increase. So just do not see HF. Why? Because HF is associated with the strongest case of dipole-dipole attraction, which is hydrogen bonding. So just do not see HF. So what can you say about other hydrogen halides? Sir, for HCl, for HBr, and for HI, we can definitely and easily say that melting point and boiling point both increases down the group, because everybody is polar and dipole-dipole attraction increases when surface area increases. Yes, perfect, Abhirani. So if you are not seeing HF, what you will say? Sir, if we are not seeing HF, then we will say that dipole-dipole attraction extent increases, therefore melting point, boiling point all increases down the group. But in the first session also we had this concept for hydrogen bonding in case of nitrogen halides, nitrogen hydrides, NH3 of group 15. But for HF, sir, the attraction force becomes strongest intermolecular force of attraction, which is hydrogen bonding. But there is a factual thing with that. Because of hydrogen bonding, HF has exceptionally high melting point also and boiling point also. But you have to learn, you have to know this through the NCERT data, that HF wins the race from HI also when we are comparing the boiling point. But when we are comparing the melting point, then it is a fact. It is just a factual data which you should know, because HF is having strong intermolecular attraction, that is hydrogen bonding. But HI is also having very strong dipole-dipole attraction because its size is very high. So because of size, the higher size of HI, when you compare melting point, these two are actually interchanged, as in HI still wins with HF once it is in solid state, because who you melt what physical state? Solid. So in case of melting point, HF wins because of hydrogen bonding but loses to iodine and comes second. But yes, in boiling point, HF wins from iodine also, but this is a factual NCERT fact which you should know. Therefore, statement 2 is correct and statement 1 is incorrect. So your answer will be statement 1 is incorrect and only statement 2 is correct. So option 2 will be your right answer. I hope somebody is saying wrong question. Beta, yes, even I have got few options that they were these things were written as a statement. I mean, the logic was they were asking about the melting and boiling point of hydrogen halide. So that logic, I guess, I have discussed with you. Now, coming to the next question from chemical equilibrium. So I hope Sukunal, wrong question sir. Beta, I hope I have answered to your query that yes, the representation of the question must be different, but they have asked about the trends of melting and boiling point of hydrogen halides. Now, moving to the next question. Yeah, Abhirani is saying option 2. So let us now, such questions, beta, okay. Alpha FX is saying correct question only. Okay, some student is saying it was a correct question, somebody is saying some other options. Whatever be the case, beta, I hope 43 questions I will get. Beta, 43 questions you have attempted, so whatever questions will be correct you will be getting marks definitely out of it. And trust yourself, if you have invested enough attention and hard work of yours, you will be getting whatever best possible NITs or IITs you can. NITs, because through JEE Mains you can only have your probable NIT, so you will be getting what you deserve, and all my best wishes and all our best wishes for it. Now, coming to this question of chemical equilibrium, such questions, just take a look at the options. If you take a look at the options, you will get to know that you have to do calculation for such questions. So if you're good in calculation, do this in the first attempt, else mark this and come back to such questions because they are quite easy. But into divide is going to take time and pain from out of you. So if you're good in into divide, then do it in the first attempt, else come back to such questions when you have read all the questions and you are knowing that this question is going to take a bit of your time because of calculations. Now, I hope the reaction is quite clear to us that A is in equilibrium with B. The equilibrium concentration of ABr, okay, whatever concentration is given is the equilibrium concentration. So with that concentration, what can you calculate, sir? Equilibrium constant K, which will be equal to concentration of product upon reactance. Stoichiometry is 1 that means 0.315 upon 0.3. So this is how you get, because this is, this is nothing but 315 rupees upon 300. So this is more than 1. So what options I have more than 1? A and C. So K definitely I do not have to calculate. I know it is 1.05. Now, it is saying now 0.1 mole A is added to the flask of 1 liter. So volume we also know. And if we are adding 0.1 mole, the equilibrium will get disturbed. If you add reactant in order to again achieve equilibrium, reaction proceeds in forward direction. Therefore, we were having what concentration? 0.3. So if 1 liter, moles will also become 0.3. So 0.3 plus 0.1, therefore new concentration, let's say T new. So what will be new concentration of A? 0.3 plus 0.1 as in 0.4. But because we have increased concentration of reactant, so this will be dissociating and B will be produced. How much B will be produced? X. What was B originally? 0.315 plus X. So this will be the final concentration at new equilibrium reached. But what does not change? Sir, value of K. So value of K, which we know through option, it is 1.05, will be equal to concentration of product, which is 0.315 plus X upon 0.4 minus X. Now this is a basic into divide which you have to do. Once you do that into divide, you will get your value of X. And what are you supposed to calculate? The equilibrium constant, which we have already calculated, and concentration of B. So once you find X, add 0.315 and you will get your answer. And I guess you have to do religious into divide because this is 0.35 and that is 0.37. So answer is not very far also. So into divide, this X calculation you have to do religiously. Do it and then you will get 0.315 plus x will give you option C. So I hope somebody has got the answer. Sumedha, del H and del S relation was given. Okay, in this question, if del H and del S relation was given in this question or some other question, beta, you can write that question and we'll come back to it. Moving to the next question. Now, this is a very basic question of periodic table. It is saying the sum of valence electron in element with most and least metallic nature. Sir, metallic nature. Sir, down the group metallic nature increases and along the period it decreases. We know from class 9th. So, sodium, after that you have potassium. Sir, these are phosphorus is a p block element, chlorine is a p block element, sulfur is a p block element, oxygen is a p block element, fluorine is a p block element. So obviously sodium will be the most metallic out of them. So one, you have to pick the most metallic one, and the least metallic one will be most electronegative. So who is most electronegative among them? Sir, it is also very easy. We do not have to plot them in periodic table. It is fluorine. So this fluorine will be the most non-metallic element. So how many electrons? What is the valence electron for sodium? Sir, 1. What is valence electron for fluorine? Sir, 7. So can't you add 7 and 1? Your answer will be beautifully 8. Now such questions are cake. Eat those cake when they are served to you in examination. So I hope we are clear with this. So let's see who else is ready for you. Neil is saying 2. Beta Neil, answer is 8. It was an integer type question, I guess. So Sumit sir is ready for you. So ending and over to Sumit sir.
With few more questions on physics, and here we are with first question on ray optics. Okay, object is placed at a distance of 30 centimeter. Am I audible to you? Please mention. I think it's not still not there. Okay, it's there now. Object is placed at a distance of 30 centimeter from lens given below. Then the distance of image from lenses R1 and R2 are given to us. Refractive index is given to us. We can find the focal length using the lens maker formula. We will find the distance between. We can find the distance of the image from the object from the lens. Okay. Anyways, so let us use the lens maker formula. What is that? 1 by f is equals to mu minus 1 into 1 by r1 minus 1 by r2 with sign convention. Okay. This is how we use. So mu minus 1. What is mu? What is mu here? Mu is 1.5. So mu minus 1 is 1.5 minus 1 is 0.5, that is 1 by 2 into 1 by r1. 1 by r1 is 1 by 10 minus 1 by r2. R2 is minus 20. So minus minus plus 1 by 20. Now what it is? 1 by 2 into this will become 3 by 20. Okay. So this becomes 3 by 40. Now use the lens formula. 1 by v minus 1 by u is equals to 1 by f. V we need to find. What is u? Object is at a distance of 30 centimeter, means minus 30 is equals to 1 by f is my 3 by 40. So from here 1 by v comes out to be 3 by 40 minus 1 by 30. Take 120 as LCM. 40 into 3, here 9 minus 30 into 4. So this is 5 by 120. So this becomes 24. Okay. So V comes out to be 24 centimeters. So the distance of the image from the lens comes out to be 24 centimeter. R1 is 15, R2 is 12. Okay. One student is mentioning that in the actual paper the values of R1 and R2 were 15 and 12. Okay, thank you for mentioning, Priya. Okay, if it is there, like this is a memory base, therefore I am saying, okay, values might not be exactly the same. So difference can be expected. So if that was 15 and 12, we will put 15 and 12 then. Thank you for mentioning that. Okay, next question. Two tuning forks A and B produce 8 beats in 2 seconds. It means FA minus FB mod of this, we don't know which one is greater, is equal to 8 beats in 2 seconds means 4 beats per second. So 4 when sounding together. Okay, when tuning fork A is vexed, the number of beats becomes 4 in 2 seconds. 4 in 2 seconds means 2 per second. So number of beats became 2 when F fork A is vexed. If fork is vexed, then what happens? Frequency will decrease, isn't it? Like mass will become more, so frequency will decrease. So if frequency will decrease, okay, frequency will decrease, then my beat frequency is decreasing. It means what? FA is greater. If you decrease FA and FA minus FB decreases, it means mod FA minus FB is actually FA minus FB. Isn't decreasing FA? This is decreasing. Okay, it means actually this is FA minus FB is equals to 4. Actually this is the case. Now that is clear to us. Okay, if the frequency of tuning fork is FB is 380, then FA will be FB plus 4, that is 384. The frequency of FA is 384. Is this point clear? This is a logical thing. Like you need to think that if FA decreases, my FA minus FB is decreasing, it means FA is greater. That point is clear to us. Next question. Let us read. A flywheel of mass 3 kg, radius 5 meter is mounted on a smooth horizontal axle. Okay, the flywheel is mounted like this. A light, inextensible and ideal rope is wound around the rim of the flywheel and 3 kg mass is attached to free end of the rope. So here a mass of 3 kg is attached. The system is released from rest. Find the kinetic energy of the flywheel when the attached mass descended by 3 meter. Now this descended by 3 meter, let us take it comes somewhat here. It will be moving with some velocity v. It will be rotating with some angular velocity omega, and we know that v is equals to r omega. Okay, here this thread is in contact. So this angular velocity, this velocity here is r omega, which is equal to the velocity of this block at that particular instant. Now the thing to understand, one thing is this is a flywheel, so we are considering it a disk by default. Conservation of mechanical energy, the decrease in the potential energy is equals to my increase in the kinetic energy. How much is the decrease in the potential energy? 3 kg mass, okay, went down 3 meter. mg into h is equals to increase in the kinetic energy. Initially kinetic energy was 0, finally it is moving with velocity v, so half m into v square plus half I omega square, half I is mr square by 2, m is 3 for the disk, m into r square, mr square by 2, half I and then omega square. Now this is my v square, r square, v is equals to r omega, so that becomes my v, that became my v square. Okay, now what it is? 3 we can cancel, so this become 30 is equals to v square by 2 plus v square by 4. This is 3 by 4, isn't it? 3 by 4, v square is equals to 30, 3 into 10, so v square comes out to be 40. What is asked to us? Find the kinetic energy of the flywheel, only this part. This is the kinetic energy of the flywheel. How much it will become? Half I omega square, okay, half I is mr square by 2, 3 by 2 into r square, omega square was my v square, 40, this is 4 into 10, this became 30 joules. So the answer is 30 joules. Is this fine? Let us see if everything is fine here or we did any calculation mistake. No, it's not there. Everything seems fine. 30, this is v square, 3 by 4, this become 10, v square is 40, half into 3 by 2 into v square 40, that is 30 joules. Great. Next question. Okay, Neil Patel was mentioning answer of the previous question 24. Yes, great, that was 24. If position vector is given by this and its sign are reversed, then which of the following physical quantity remains unaffected? Now how we relate acceleration? Acceleration is equals to dv by dt. What is v? V is dr by dt. So basically it is d square r by dt square. If a negative sign is added with r, so this will become minus a. So it means it changes. Velocity is dr by dt. If a negative sign is added, negative will appear. So this also changes. Displacement is delta r. Okay. So my displacement s is basically delta r. If a negative sign comes, here also a negative sign will come. So this is also incorrect. Torque. How we write torque? Torque is equals to r cross f. Okay, f you can write ma. R cross m into a. This is m r cross a. When r will reverse, means r, a negative sign with r will come, a negative sign for a also will come. Okay, so this will become actually m into minus of r cross minus of a. Anyways, minus minus will become plus, it remains the same. It remains the same. Torque is the correct answer. Are you able to understand this simple question? Please mention in the comments. If you are able to understand this simple question, please mention in the comments. Okay, another question. If the mass number of nucleus is alpha, its radius is r alpha, and another mass number is beta, then its radius is r beta. We need to find the ratio of r alpha by r beta. Beta and alpha relation is given. How we relate the radius? You know that r is equals to r naught into a to the power 1 by 3. So basically it is proportional to cube root of the mass number. Now write that for r alpha and r beta. So r alpha divided by r beta will be equal to, here mass number is alpha, here mass number is beta to the power 1 by 3. Beta is given as 8 times of alpha, so this becomes 1 by 8 to the power 1 by 3, that is basically 1 by 2. So my r beta by, okay, r alpha by r beta comes out to be 1 by 2. Yeah, beta is 8 alpha, so this becomes 1 by 8, okay, and this becomes 1 by 2. So r alpha by r beta we need, that is 1 by 2 only. Sir, वो angular momentum था. Apurva is saying, Apurva was saying, here you are talking about, okay, if angular momentum is also there, r cross p, we will write that r becomes inverse, p becomes inverse, angular momentum will also be unaffected as torque. Thank you for mentioning, Apurva. Okay, so here we got r alpha by r beta, that comes out to be 1 by 2. Next, which of the following physical quantity is not measurable? Can you tell? Displacement, yes, we can measure. Displacement we can measure, that is correct. Acceleration also we can measure. How about voltage and voltage difference? Can you tell me? Which can be measured and which cannot be measured? Voltage difference can be measured. When we talk about, we talk only about the potential difference. We don't know the absolute potential. We only talk about the potential difference. Okay, so potential difference is measurable. Only thing which is not measurable is the voltage. So this becomes my correct answer. Okay, yeah. So this is all about physics. We have now a few more questions on maths. Let us see. Let us see if we have with us. Okay, Dipendra sir is joining with few more questions on maths. So Dipendra sir, it's over to you.
Okay, so I believe I am visible. I am going great, and you all can see. Okay, so I believe I am visible. I am going great, and you all can see the screen. So let's get started with our discussion now. I hope Sumit sir must have ended the stream from his end and you all can see the screen which I'm presenting right now. Can we get started with that? Great. So let's get started with this. I hope you can see some questions from mathematics now. Just give me a quick response. Yes, great. So how do we solve this particular one? By the principle of inverse trigonometric function, the value of this. So of course it is advised that finally I'm having a 10 outside. So why can I not have 10 inverse inside so that ultimately I can nullify 10 inverse by 10? How do we do that? Here, this is sine inverse 2 by root 13. So if this is sine inverse 2 by root 13, sine means what? Perpendicular upon hypotenuse. I hope you remember that. So with that, if I wish to write 10, this will be 13 minus 4. 13 minus 4 is 9 and square root of 9 is 3. So this will be, if I wish to write sine inverse 2 by root 13 in terms of 10 inverse, I'll be writing it as 2 by 3. So here I'll be saying 10 of what? 10 of 2 times 10 inverse of 2 by 3. Everyone with me on this? How did I do it? I hope I did not explain that part. Similarly, when you go ahead with the next portion, what I see here is that I'm given 2 times cos inverse of 3 by root 10. Now 3, which means what? Base and root 10, hypotenuse. Again, what do we get here? Hypotenuse square minus base square will be perpendicular square. So 10 minus 9, that is 1. Square root of 1 is 1. So this perpendicular is going to be 1. So here I can write it as 10 inverse perpendicular upon base, which is going to be 1 by 3. Everyone with me on this? Are you all comfortably understanding whatever I've done so far? With that, can I move ahead with that? I hope you all can see and understand it very clearly. Now what I do next is, I hope you can see this 10 and this 2. This 2 and this 2 can be taken outside. So this becomes 10 of 2 times whole of 10 inverse of 2 by 3 minus 10 inverse of 1 by 3. Both x and y are less than 1. Their product is also less than 1, which means I can simply use 10 inverse x minus 10 inverse y as 10 inverse x minus y upon 1 plus xy. Do you remember that identity, students? So with that, when I simplify this, I get 10 inverse of 2 times 10 inverse of x minus y, that is 2 by 3 minus 1 by 3, so that is clearly 1 by 3 upon 1 plus xy. So 2 by 3 into 1 by 3 is 2 by 9. Everyone with me on this? Whatever I'm doing here, without any confusion, can I move ahead from here? I hope whatever I've done is 2 by 3 minus 1 by 3, that's 1 by 3, and there you have denominator 1 plus 2 by 3 into 1 by 3, that's 2 by 9. Everyone with me on this? From here, when I write the next step, what do we get here? 10 inverse of 2 times 10 inverse of, I hope you can see it very clearly. This is 9 plus 2, that is 11 by 9. So can I write this part as 11 by 9? So from here we can clearly see that here this becomes 9 by 3 into 13. So that should be 3 by 11. Correct me if I'm wrong. By the way, I think I have done the right calculation. Let's verify it one more time. So here this 9 goes in the numerator, that makes it 3 by 11. Yes, we are going right. Now again, I'll use this 2 10 inverse x formula where it says, I hope you remember, you can simply treat it as 10 inverse x plus 10 inverse x, which is 10 inverse 2x upon 1 minus x square. I hope you remember that. So it will be 10 inverse of this. Okay, so this wasn't 10 inverse, I'm really sorry. This was basically a 10. Okay, so this was 10. Now with that, this will be 10 inverse of 2x. 2x means 6 by 11 upon 1 minus x square. 1 minus x into x, that gives you 3 by 11 square is 9 by 121. I hope from here you all are comfortable in finding the answer. This value, which when you get after simplifying, will be your answer, because 10 and 10 inverse are nullified and you can mark the correct option accordingly without any confusion. Can I move ahead with the next question? Everyone with me on this, whatever I've explained so far in this particular question. With that, when you solve the next question, this is a very interesting one, a very, very interesting one. First of all, I think there is a typing error. It should have been minus pi by 2. So from minus pi by 2 to 12 times 3 plus gif of x plus 3 plus gif of sin x plus gif of cos x. So they should have mentioned here that this sign represents the greatest integer function. Everyone with me on this? Now from here, I hope you all can see it very clearly that sin x, cos x and gif of x. So 3 functions are there in picture. GIF of x is not a difficult task. My concern is sin x and cos x. So let's analyze and observe the graph of sin x and cos x from minus pi by 2 to. So I'll draw both the graphs separately. So from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, right? So from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, we see the graph of sin x going like this. I hope there is no confusion on that front. And here you see 0 somewhere here in between. And that's how you see it reaching from minus 1 to 1. Did you all get that part? Shall I move ahead from here? Similarly, when you talk about cos x, so I hope cos x is also something very much understandable. From minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, this clearly is an even function. So this is minus pi by 2, this is 0, and this is pi by 2. That is the graph of cos x. I hope you all can see it very clearly. This ranges between 0 to 1. I hope you all are clearly understanding, seeing it happening over here. So now, please pay attention. Here, I could take, see, sine inverse x between minus pi by 2 to 0 is from minus 1 to 0. Cos inverse x between minus pi by 2 to 0 is between 0 to 1. But the problem is between minus pi by 2 to 0, x is not just, I hope you are understanding, GIF of x when I'm going to take will not just lie between minus pi by 2 to 0, it will change its values. So I would better split into two different zones. I'll say minus pi by 2 to minus 1 is what I'll take first. So I'll split it from minus pi by 2 to minus 1. Then from minus 1 to 0, because this x is creating that whole problem. And from 0 to, of course, 1, and then from 1 to pi by 2. The same I will do for cos as well. Because there, I won't be facing any problem here. Flame is saying I wasn't able to, you were not able to solve this question. That's perfectly fine. Here, we are developing that sense that how will you split those limits so that you can get the final idea. Now, if I start writing this expression, what I get here is, I hope you can see it very clearly, from minus pi by 2 to minus 1. So I'm splitting it into 4 zones. I'm splitting it from minus pi by 2 to minus 1, minus 1 to 0, 0 to 1, and then 1 to pi by 2. First of all, did you get a good clarity on this? Sir, I answered C for all the questions in shift 1. Can you let me know? Will I get at least positive marks? I'm really sorry, I'm so weak at maths, I cannot calculate that kind of problem. We really don't tell our students to do something like that. We really are sorry for something like that. Let's focus on something, learning something substantial and more profound so that we can actually excel in the examination hall with some decent set of skill set. Let's develop that, right? So with that, when I go ahead with my conclusion, I'll say, first of all, I hope now there is no confusion with that. All you need to crack is this, and this. So if I talk about the first section, minus pi by 2 to minus 1. So I hope you're understanding minus pi by 2 is what? Minus pi by 2 to minus 1. When you take it from minus pi by 2 to minus 1, your GIF of sin x will give you minus 1. Your GIF of cos x will give you 0. But when you talk about GIF of x, so minus 1.5 to minus 1, so it gives you minus 2. I hope you're understanding it. So here it will give you 12 times 3. GIF of x is minus 2 divided by what? Divided by 3 plus GIF of sin x we have just discussed. So between minus pi by 2 to minus 1, it is from 0 to minus 1. So it will give you minus 1 as its GIF, and plus what? Plus GIF of cos x. So from minus pi by 2 to minus 1, it is from 0 to 1. So GIF of cos x is going to be 0. I hope you have understood this part. Everyone with me on this? Can I move ahead with the next part? Here, from minus 1 to 0, how will I simplify this? From minus 1 to 0, I hope you can see this section. From minus 1 to 0, GIF of x will be minus 1. Everyone with me on this? So this will be 12 times 3 minus 1 in the numerator. 12 times 3 minus 1 in the numerator. When you talk about the denominator, you have this 3 as a constant here. But when you now talk about minus 1 to 0, so from minus 1 to 0, I can still see sin x to be from minus 1 to 0. So its GIF will still be minus 1. So GIF of sin x will be minus 1. What about GIF of cos x? So GIF of cos x from minus 1 to 0, this is still from 0 to 1. And if it is still from 0 to 1, its GIF will be 0. Everyone with me on this? So here you write it like this. Of course, dx. So basically constant terms are there. It wasn't a difficult question at all. Great, Imtiaz. That's brilliant. I'm glad you're answering it. Now from 0 to 1, can you help me from 0 to 1? From 0 to 1, GIF of x will be 0. So this will be 12 into 3. This will be 12 into 3 plus 0, of course, whole divided by 3 plus GIF of sin x. So from 0 to 1, if you look at, you get the values from 0 to 1. And 0 to 1, GIF is 0. So I'll write a 0 here. What about cos x, students? I'll again repeat this part. From 0 to 1, this is the zone I'm looking at. So this is again between 0 to 1. And the GIF of cos x from 0 to 1 will be 0 dx. So some constant is what you need to evaluate and write the final answer. Now from 1 to pi by 2. So from 1 to 1.5, this will be 1. So this will be 12 times 3 plus 1. I hope you are understanding it comfortably. What am I doing here? divided by the denominator 3 plus GIF of sin x. So 3 plus GIF of sin x. GIF of sin x means what? GIF of sin x. Where are we? The limits are from 1 to pi by 2. So from 1 to pi by 2 means what? This, sorry, sin x is what we are looking at. This is still between 0 to 1. So GIF is going to be 0. What about the cos x, students? So from 1 to pi by 2, we can still see cos x from 0 to 1. So no matter from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, it will always give you the values which are 0. So from 1 to pi by 2, it is between 0 to 1. So this is 0 dx. Can you do it from here? I hope it is doable now. You all must have understood the concept. So how should you split it? That's the matter of concern. And how do you get the idea on that? By drawing or by being able to draw the graphs. Can I move ahead from here? Can we see the next question now? A very easy, very simple, very interesting one. So again, 3 shifts I have seen to be very simple ones. So now I am able to conclude that yes, this is one of those shifts which was easy, which was moderate, which was doable. A lot of attempts were made, should have been made by a lot of aspirants in mathematics section. I can commit that. I can definitely give a conclusion on that. So there is a triangle ABC. A is origin, vertices B and C lie on the parabola such that this is the centroid. Now nothing can be simpler than this. Nothing can be simpler than this. Trust me. How will I solve this question? So first of all, there is a parabola and there is of course x-axis and y-axis, which is not a matter of huge concern here. But what you should all pay attention to is the parabola is y square is equals to 8x. So if I write it like this, can I write it like y square is equals to 4 into 2 into x? So your a is 2. So a parametric point on this parabola can be taken as 80 square comma 280. 80 square means what? 2t square comma 280. That is 4 into 2. I mean 2 into 2 t. So 2t1 square comma 4t1 can be a point parametrically taken on this. Okay, great, Imtiaz. I did not see that, but I did not solve it completely. I just gave you the idea so that you can get the option. My motive here in this session is to make you understand the concept conceptually, that what logic is needed to be applied here and what kind of questions are we facing here in this attempt. Now, when you look at this particular part, this is clearly nothing but what B. So there is one more point C lying on this parabola. So let's say this is a point C, and parametrically it can be taken as 2t2 square comma 4t2. I hope you are understanding it. And what are we told? That this triangle ABC, so this here is your point A. A is of course origin 0 comma 0 is having its what? Having its centroid. Centroid G, let's say, is 7 by 3 comma 4 by 3. Now how do we write centroid? I hope you remember. So centroid is given by x1 plus x2 plus x3 divided by 3 is equal to x coordinate. So 7 by 3. So 3 gets cancelled by this 3. So this is what we receive as 7. So from here I wouldn't hesitate in saying that t1 square plus t2 square is equals to 7 by 2. Everyone with me on this? Are you all understanding? Getting there? That's great, Kumari Kanan. That's brilliant. With that, when I solve the next part, the y coordinate, this plus 0. So 4t1 plus 4t2, which means 4 times t1 plus t2 should be equal to, divided by 3 should be equal to 4 by 3. So this should be 4. So ultimately I get t1 plus t2 as 1. Now, sir, what is the advantage of doing this? I think my job is done, because when you are interested in finding BC square means what? The distance between B and C. So when you are willing to find BC square, that is given by under root gets cancelled. See, x2 minus x1, so 2t2 square minus 2t1 square whole square. So you are left with 2 t2 square minus t1 square whole square. I hope you are understanding it. Plus y2 minus y1. So y2 minus y1 means what? 4t2 minus 4t1. 4t2 minus 4t1 whole square. So this will be BC whole square. But now, sir, we know t1 square plus t2 square. We know t1 plus t2, but we don't know these values. But trust me, you know. How do you know them? Can you help me with that? T1. One of the ways is, sir, solve these two quadratics. You can see a quadratic getting found with the help of these two roots. And there you get t1 and t2. You can substitute them. The other way is that can you convert this t1 square minus t2 square and this t2 minus t1 whole square into something like what we have here. I hope both are perfectly fine and doable. Let's do one more thing so that we can get the final idea or final conclusion. What am I trying to make you understand is that here, we know t1 plus t2 whole square. Can you help me? Can I do it here? Can you help me with t1 minus t2 whole square? Can you help me with that? Why am I doing this? Because I want to have this. I think we can crack this pretty easily. Let's work on this. T2 minus T1. Why? Because T2 minus T1, when I'm willing to do, can I say T2 minus T1 or T1 minus T2 whole square will be T1 plus T2 whole square minus. So this will be A square plus B square plus 2AB, but I need minus 2AB. So minus 4 T1 T2 is needed. Minus 4 T1 T2 is needed. Are you all there with me? Are you all there with me? But again, there is a problem. We don't have 4 T1 T2. We have T1 plus T2. So here I'll say, let's form a quadratic so that we can get this. Okay, skip this part. We will need it, but before, let's square this part from both the sides. So when I square this part on both the sides, it will be T1 square plus T2 square plus 2 T1 T2 is equal to 1. Can you all see this? But we know T1 square plus T2 square is 7 by 2. So 7 by 2 I take here, push it there. So 2 T1 T2 is 1 minus 7 by 2. Can you all understand this very clearly? So this gives me minus 5 by 2. This 2 goes there. So it gives you minus 5 by 4. So from here, we can crack minus 5 by 4 as the value of T1 T2. So T1 T2 we receive as minus 5 by 4. So we know the sum of the roots, we know the product of the roots, we can form a quadratic. From that quadratic, we can find T1 and T2 and push them here. Or the other approaches that we can find T1 plus T2 and T1 minus T2, because T2 square minus T1 square will be what? T1 plus T2 into T1 minus T2. We have T1 plus T2. Can we not find T1 minus T2? If you have gotten confused, I'll say T1 minus T2, finding it is not a tough task or not a difficult task. However, let's have a look at this. T1 minus T2 whole square can be written as T1 plus T2 whole square minus 4 T1 T2. Did you get that part which I was mentioning previously? I hope everyone is with me, listening, watching and understanding it very clearly. So with that, we can have T1 minus T2 whole square as T1 plus T2 whole square minus 4 T1 T2. Now we know T1 plus T2, we know T1 T2, so I can have this. Once you have this, once you give me a second, what has gone wrong here? And that has gone terribly wrong, because now again, array, what is happening here? So this is T1 minus T2 whole square, right? So I repeat my words very clearly. We have T1 plus T2, we have T1 T2. Once I replace those values here, I think there was something here as well. It was 4 T1 T2. Once I replace those values here, I get T1 minus T2. So I can replace those values here and I can find BC square, which is not a tough or difficult task for you all at this stage. Can I skip the solution of the next step here, which you all can do from here? I hope you have understood it. Always remember, a teacher's job is not to give you the complete solution. A teacher's job is always to take you towards the solution. Give a man a fish and you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish and you feed him for entire life. So I'm trying to make you able to solve the problem by yourself. If I keep solving the questions, you will be solely and completely dependent on me. And I hope we all know that if you wish to learn swimming, we got to enter into water by ourselves. You cannot learn swimming or driving by seeing me swimming or driving. You got to learn to swim by swimming. You got to learn to drive by driving. So you got to do it by yourself. So when you wish to solve the problems of IIT JEE mathematics, you got to solve it by yourself. I hope you all are there listening, understanding it very clearly. With that, always remember, one of the ways is you find a, then a square, then a to the power 4 and so on, so that you can find a general result. Because a to the power 100 is of course something you need not do, but a generalization can be brought. But can there be any other approach? There is indeed a different approach. Now what is that approach? Here, always remember, characteristic equation, matrix polynomial, eigenvalues play a very crucial role in deciding this a to the power 100. If you don't understand characteristic equation eigenvalues, we have released a one-shot video on matrices, a complete one-shot, in which characteristic details, matrix polynomial, eigenvalues, everything is discussed in a very detailed format so that such category of questions can be dealt by you very easily. How? Have a look at that. A is given as this. So whenever you are given A, the characteristic equation of a 2 by 2 matrix, the short technique here is A square minus trace of A into A plus determinant of A into I. What do I mean by that? You can write characteristic equation of A as A square minus trace of A. Trace of A means 3 minus 1, that's 2. So minus of trace of A times matrix A plus determinant of A. What is determinant of A here, students? It will be minus 3 plus 4. So 4 minus 3 is 1. So 1 into the identity matrix, that's A, I is equal to 0. So this is how you write the characteristic equation of the matrix A. Sir, what is the advantage of it? Why are we doing this? What are you attaining or achieving by doing so? Have faith in my words. What are we going to achieve from here? Have a look at that. From here, can I say a square can be written as 2a minus I? Absolutely. Can you help me in writing a to the power 4? A to the power 4 is going to be a square into a square. What is a square? Sir, it is 2a minus I. So it should be 2a minus I into 2a minus I. Everyone will be on this. So 2a into 2a, that is clearly 4a square minus 2a into I, 2a into I. That is again minus 2a, that is minus 4a. And minus I gives you plus I. I hope you're understanding it. Now, can you again substitute a square, which was 2a minus I here. So with that, I'll get 4 times 2a minus I minus 4a plus I. I hope there is no confusion on that. Can I move ahead from here? So from here, when I solve this further, 4 into 2, 8a. 8a minus 4a gives you what? 8a minus 4a gives me 4a. I repeat my part. 8a minus 4a gives me 4a. And there, you get minus 4a. That we have concluded. And there you have minus 4i plus I. So it gives you minus 3i. Now I have started seeing a pattern. A square was 2a minus I. This is what? Sir, this here is the value of a to the power 4. I hope you're understanding. This is the value of a to the power 4. Now, with that, can you not predict a to the power 8 or a to the power n? If you are still confused, I'll help you with one more step so that you get a complete crystal clear clarity with a to the power n. You need not do this at this stage, but still, if you're still confused, you can figure out a to the power 8. Are you assuming and telling or what? Total wrong options. Sir, options are 40 and 80. Where are we seeing options? There are no options. AK Gaming for Telugu. Okay, now, even if the options are incorrect, I hope you are understanding what is our intent, what is our motive, boy. You need to understand our motive is to make you see the question, the kind of questions, the category of question, the difficulty level of the questions, and the concept, the logic which needs to be applied. Why are you students so badly and terribly obsessed with the options? This is a memory-based paper. Why are you not understanding a very simple fact, students? This is simply a data which we have received from the students, not from the NTA. Now look at this particular part, a to the power 8. A to the power 8 can be written as a to the power 4 into a to the power 4. What is a to the power 4? 4a minus 3i. So it will be 4a minus 3i into what? 4a minus 3i. So from here, what will I get is 4 into 4a, that is 16a square. Now here, it will be 4 into 3, 12. 4 into 3, 12. So minus 12 is minus 24a. I hope you are getting it very clearly. And 3 into 3 is 9. So it should be plus 9i. From here, a square I can replace by 2a minus I. So this is 16 2a minus I minus 24a plus 9i. Now finally, when you write a to the power 8, this step was not needed, but just to make you comfortable with this concept, I'm doing this additional step here. So with that, what do we have? 16 into 2, that is 32. 32 minus 24. 32 minus 24 is, I think, 6 plus 2, 8. So this is 8a again. I hope now you must have started seeing the pattern. If you're still not convinced, have a look at this part. 16 and 9. So we have minus 16 plus 9. So it should be 7, I believe. Minus 7, of course. Right. So with that, I get minus 7i. I hope there is no confusion on that. Now, can you not see a pattern here? Can you not see a clear pattern here? If I wish to write, now on the basis of this, if I wish to write a to the power n, see this. This 2 was there, this 2 minus 1 was there. A to the power 4, 4 was there, 4 minus 1 was there. A to the power 8, 8 was there, 8 minus 1 was there. So can you not predict a to the power n, students? So a to the power n can be now generalized as n a minus n minus 1 I. Will you all agree with this? So when I wish to write a to the power 100, I need not multiply a 100 times. I hope you're understanding the point. The point is, you can simply get it with the help of this characteristic equation. So if you are comfortable with matrix polynomial, you can crack questions within seconds. So with that, when I proceed further, I'll say I can write a to the power 100 within seconds. A to the power 100 will be 100a. It will be 100a minus 100 minus 1, 99i. Now, can you not write a to the power 100? A to the power 100, if I wish to write, where should I write? I'm running short of space, so I'll be using the next page. A to the power is 100a. 100a means what? 300 minus 400. So this is 300. Then I have minus 400. Then what I have is 100 and minus 100. So this is 100 and minus 100. This is 100A and minus 99I. So minus 99 means what? Minus 99, 0, 0, 99. I hope you have understood this. This is going to be a to the power 100. Now I leave it up to you. You can split it into 100 times a matrix plus an identity matrix, which is definitely not a tough task. You all are pretty good at that. And by having that conclusion, you can get the correct answer. I hope I can leave you here with this conclusion. Now, splitting this into something like this is not a difficult task. And with that, you can crack B, not just B, but B to the power 100 as well. By simplification of that B, with the help of, again, that characteristic equation, that matrix polynomial. I hope there is no confusion on that. Can I move ahead from here? I think it should not be B to the power 100. It could have been 100B or whatever it is. But still, I am sure you must have understood the approach, the idea. How should you solve this particular category of questions? Can I move ahead from here? I don't see any more questions at this stage right now. So I need to hand it over to either Sumit sir or Gaurav sir. Let me see who is available so that I should end. By the way, you can tell me how was your paper? Did you enjoy solving maths in the paper? How was your chemistry and physics? I'm seeing a lot of students stating that it was easy, it was simple. Even maths was simple, students. Was it easy? Was it doable? Did you all enjoy doing it? Okay, so I haven't received any response. Gaurav sir is ready. Okay, so let me say that I am ending it from my end so that he can join it, right?
Yes, guys. Hello, hello, hello. I'm back with lot of questions for you. So let's try these questions. Starting with now, if you just ask me, let's see who all are there. So if you just ask me how do we have a feeling about chemistry? So yes, it is quite doable, and I feel that this session is quite the questions so far we have received. It's quite doable and easy. So hello everybody. I hope Kumari, Kanan, AK, Gaming for Telugu, Stories, Head, OP. Oh, Ayasa. So I hope everybody is here. So let's begin. Now, the first question that I have, okay, this one I've discussed. The first question which I have for you, I hope I'm audible. Any heads up? Yeah. So the first question I have for you is again the same question of Carius method, which again and again and again they are asking. Just the mole concept and the basic concept of general organic chemistry you have to apply, and you are getting your answer. And this type of question is probably coming all the time. So let us do this question with quite ease. It says you have 0.31 gram of organic compound. Now, this is the amount of organic compound we are given with. This much organic compound gave 0.4813 gram of barium sulfate. The spelling is sulfate, PHATE, barium sulfate. Now, same question, sir. Venkata. Okay, you got the same question? Okay, perfect. So, sir, just do the stoichiometry for barium sulfate. So, now the most difficult task is this. Now, we all know we have done that. This the sulfur thing was asked in 21st January also. More molecular masses. This is 137 plus 32 plus 16 plus into 4 is 64. This is 233 grams. So, if I had 1 mole of this barium sulfate, that is 233 gram. How much sulfur I would be having? I would be having 32 gram of sulfur. So, if I would be having 1 gram of this precipitate, then weight of sulfur will be 32 upon 233. But how much of barium sulfate we are supplied with in the question? 0 into 0.4813. So this becomes your weight of sulfur. This sulfur is coming from what? This sulfur is coming from this organic compound whose total weight is given to us is 0.314 gram into 100. Now this is the most crucial part. Venkata, I hope you have solved this. So the crucial part is the into divide. So if you multiply, you will get somewhere around 21.0705 or something. So 21 will be your integer type answer. I hope it is clear. Shall I move forward? Okay, moving to the next question. Now, again, a question from chemical bonding, a probable question which we have seen in the previous sessions also. So quite doable. So let us do this question. Just we have to compare that structure of list A should match with what molecule of list 2. So how many oxygens we have? 3. So bond pair will be 3. So xenon will be requiring how many electrons? 6 electrons. So bond pair over here is 3. Lone pair over here is, because 3 oxygen will require 6 electrons. So lone pair will be 1. So shape will be trigonal pyramidal. And the same shape is of ammonia. So A goes with Q. So A goes with Q. A goes with P is wrong. P is wrong. A goes with Q. Now, already we have joiled down to 2 options. Now, XeF2. So what is bond pair? How many atoms are getting bonded? 2. Every fluorine will require 1. So 2 gone out of 8, leaving 6. That means 3 lone pair. So lone pair is 3. So this is AB5. Shape will be linear, and we definitely know I3 minus is a linear shade molecule. So B is R. So we do not have to check B also, because in both the options that we are left with, B is R only. So let us do for C. Bond pair is 4 because 2 oxygen and 2 fluorines, but oxygen will require 2 electrons, so 2 oxygen will require 4. Then fluorine 6, so that means lone pair left is 1. So steric number is again 5, so shape will be seesaw shape. And who is having this 5 steric number? Sir, SF4. Why? 4 fluorine and sulfur will have 1 lone pair. So C goes with S. So C goes with S. And therefore your answer is option A. I hope it is quite clear to everybody. Okay. Perfect. Moving to the next question. The next question says, now this is a beautiful question from thermodynamics, and we have done a similar question. in the previous session. A similar question I have given you during the discussion of paper also. I have given you this analysis that whenever you have a PV graph, if it is clockwise, then work done is negative. But the question is only asking you calculate the net work done by the gas. Sir, work done by the gas is negative. So it is only asking to calculate work done by the gas. So negative sign you have to take to yourself, because it is asking you by the gas. So you just have to report the magnitude. Now, sir, for area under curve, how to calculate magnitude? Area under curve. So this is a right angle triangle. So work done will be half of, what is this? This base is 3 minus 1 as in 2. What is the unit? So it is again meter, the SI unit. So no worries. Into, what is this height? 300 minus 100 as in 200. What is the unit? So unit is only also Pascal. So it is SI unit. So no unit dimension also. On 21st of January, we had to do unit and dimension for volume, because volume over there on 21st was given in liters. So we converted into meter, because meter will give us answer in SI unit of work, which is joule. So this is simply 200 joule is your answer. So I hope everybody got that also. So shall I move forward? Now, moving to the next question. The next question is from GOC, a very easy question rather. So let us see how to do this question. It is saying which pair is having same hyperconjugating structures, as in hyperconjugating hydrogens. So let us solve these hyperconjugating hydrogens. Sir, it is also quite easy. This is carbon with a positive charge. So for hyperconjugating hydrogens, what carbon we see? The sp3, the next carbon to this sp2 hybridized carbon, which is this one. Let me use different color for this. So this one, how many hydrogens it is having? 1. So it is stabilized by 1 hyperconjugating hydrogen. What about this carbon? Sir, here, so this is CH2. This is also sp3 hybridized alpha carbon. So this is also CH2. This is CH. So it is getting stabilized by 5 hyperconjugating hydrogens. What about this guy? Sir, this is a CH2 unit, this is a CH2 unit, and this is a CH unit. We just have to check the alpha carbon, the carbon next to this sp2 hybridized carbon. So again, this is also having how many hyperconjugated hydrogens? 5. What about this one? So this is CH3, this is CH2. So it is also having how many hyperconjugating hydrogens? 5. So that means this, and this are having 5 hyperconjugating stabilization. So let us see the options. Option 1 is almost there with everybody. So option 4 will be your right answer because both of them are having 5 hyperconjugating hydrogens. I hope we are clear with this. Hello? Hello? Yeah. Moving to the, again, next question, a basic question for the application of Fazan's rule. Now, we definitely know metal, alkali metals and halogen forms ionic compound, but which is more ionic? The ionic compound attains some covalent character which is represented and designated by Fazan's rule, which says smaller be the cation, higher is its polarization power. So, who will be highest polarizing? Sir, lithium. So it will be most covalent, and you are asked in the question which is having maximum ionic nature. So maximum ionic nature will be attained by that cation which is having highest size because it will be least covalent. So obviously, okay, Himanshi is saying, sir, ye question nahi tha. Beta, this is what question has been given. It is a memory based question. So again, we are revising Fazan's rule. So there must be something around Fazan's rule. So as per Fazan's rule, ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं था यार. Okay, so beta, but ऐसा तो कुछ था has been communicated by the students. That's why we have this question through our central team. So let us be passing this question very quickly because this is a very piece of cake question for you. So who is having the maximum ionic nature? Sir, CSCl. So a simple application of Fazan's rule. Mamta Pawar. Okay, I'm moving to this question forward with this question only also because it was a simple application of Fazan's rule. Hai na guys. Okay, Mamta is asking, guys, beta, even the teacher is telling you apart from those guys that these are memory based questions. So we have got these questions from our central team. They may not. I mean, some concept around them will definitely must have been asked. That's why they are finding a place over here. So moving forward. Now, next question is, which one is non-reducing carbohydrate? Now, if you are a reducing carbohydrate, you should react with tolerance and Fehling reagent. You should give tolerance, Fehling's test and tolerance test. But for that, your carbon, your oxygen has to open up. And how it can open up? If it is a hemiacetal, because then muta-rotation of that glucose unit can take place. So just look at the structures. Sir, here this oxygen is a hemiacetal, so it can open up. So this oxygen is a hemiacetal. Sir, why? How do you know it's a hemiacetal? Because it is containing carbon also and OH also. Now, what about this one? No, sir. It is complete acetal. This is not OH. So this can't be opened. Similarly, this can't be opened. So this 3 is definitely your example, which is a non-reducing sugar. Let us see this one also. This is also, okay, this side it is, I mean acetalized because it is carbon chain, but this side is free. This glycosidic link, this glycosidic bond is free. It can do muta-rotation and therefore it can also behave as a reducing sugar. So remember, sucrose was only the unit which was a non-reducing sugar. So I feel this is an example of sucrose for you. So a basic question of biomolecules which will not even take a minute for you to attempt, not even 35 seconds. So moving to the next question. The next question says total number of compounds react with Hinsberg reagent. So who reacts with Hinsberg reagent? Sir, Hinsberg reagent is benzene substituted with S double bond O Cl. Now, every amine, the nitrogen lone pair attacks this sulfur and takes up electron from hydrogen. So first, at least one hydrogen, if it is there, it will react with this Hinsberg reagent. Now, if it has one more hydrogen, then the compound formed will be even soluble in a base. But the question is telling you that it should react with Hinsberg reagent. That means it should have at least one hydrogen. And the product formed is insoluble in base. That means it should be a 2-degree amine. So ultimately, what are you asked? 2-degree amine. For this, I think 5 is the answer. So Zayara is saying 5 is the answer. Let us check. So we just have to find how many of these given amines are 2 degree. So let us designate the degree of this amines. So N-methyl aniline, that means aniline, which is, I'm drawing this for A. So aniline, which is benzene substituted with NH, and one nitrogen is substituted with a methyl group. So obviously, if I have a 2 degree amine, that the compound will have some N-alkyl group. So this is having N-methyl, so this is a 2 degree amine. This is having N-phenyl, so this is also a 2 degree amine. This is N-di, therefore it becomes a 3 degree, so not an answer for us. It is aniline, which is a 1 degree amine, so not an answer for us. Methylamine, it is also 1 degree amine, so not an answer for us. N-methylamine, so it is also a 2 degree amine, so yes, an answer for us. So how many of these reacts with Hinsberg reagent? Answer is 3. So I hope this is also clear to you. Now moving to the next question from coordination compounds. Now this question is also quite easy because the same option we have got in the previous question. So let us explore this question also. This says diamagnetic species among the following complex. Now for being diamagnetic, you just have to know the electronic configuration. Now manganese, Shakti, Walker, Man, as in 25. What is the oxidation state? +2. So 4s gone, so this is 3d5. So 3d5 will definitely have unpaired electrons. And because it is having unpaired electrons, so it will be paramagnetic, so not an answer for us. Now what about copper? Sir, 4s1, 3d10, but copper oxidation state is +2. So 4s1 gone, so it will be 3d9. Because it is 3d9, so that one unpaired electron will definitely be there, so it is also not an answer for us. Now this is clearly visible. This was the option we have got in the previous session also. Nickel is 4s2, 3d8. What is its oxidation state? +2. So 4s2 electrons gone, so this is 3d8. But cyanide is a strong field ligand, therefore 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and we definitely know because it is a strong field ligand, so forced pairing will take place and hybridization will be inner shell orbital will be used. So this will be dsp2 hybridized, and this definitely will be diamagnetic. So C is your answer, and obviously nickel in +2 oxidation state, but water is not a strong field ligand, so it will have 2 unpaired electrons, so this will also be paramagnetic and not an answer, and will be sp3. In fact, this has a coordination number 6, so it will be sp3d2 hybridized. So I hope we are clear. I hope we are finding the very easy answer for these questions. Okay, good. Moving to the next question, again a very doable question, which says correct statement about NO2 group is NO2 is ring deactivating group in electrophilic substitutions. Now what does electrophilic substitution mean? Let's say I have benzene ring connected with NO2, then NO2 applies strong -R and -I. So do electrophile wish to attack this ring? No, because all the electron density has been withdrawn. Yes, if at all electrophile is created, it is not eagerly waiting to attack, but if it is created, then it will attack at meta position, but it is not feeling excited to attack because most of the electron density has been withdrawn by this strong electron withdrawing group. So statement A is saying ring deactivating group. Yes, it is a deactivating group, so statement A is correct. Ring activating group, no sir, it is strong -I, strong -R, so this is wrong. Now C is saying activating for aromatic nucleophilic substitution. Yes, remember chlorobenzene do not react with NaOH, but when NaOH is given temperature, pressure, then Dow's process tells us that it undergoes reaction, and if it gets at ortho and para position, if gets substituted by electron withdrawing group like the NO2 group, the temperature required becomes lesser. That means this NO2 group will create positivity at ortho and para position because it is an electron withdrawing group. So definitely when positivity is created, nucleophile starts getting attracted towards the ring because of this positivity. This minus starts attacking, so definitely C is also correct. Now what about D1? Deactivating for, no sir, it is activating, so this is wrong. So what is right? Option A and C are correct. So this is also a very basic and beautiful question. So I hope everybody is clear. Okay, so these are the questions I am having for you for chemistry. Let me see if I've got more question. No. So Sumit sir is ready for you. So over to Sumit sir.
Welcome back, and we are having few more questions on physics. Let us see. Okay, we are there. YouTube screen, on the screen पे YouTube लगाओ. Okay, I hope I am visible. It's loading. Okay, now it's okay. Which question we did last? I think this we did. If the mass, this we did, and we are having this question now. This is on YDSE. Yeah, the previous question to this was this. Yeah, this we had already done. Now let us read this question. What is asked here? Sir, I corrected it with Tukka. I think you are mentioning for chemistry or this? For this question you did? Let us read. Two light sources, these the wavelengths, okay, in YDSC with slit distance this and distance between slits and screen this. Then the distance from central maxima for which minima of both wavelength coincide. It should be minimum. The minimum distance where the minima of both the wavelengths coincides. How we will find that? You know how we write the nth minima? That is 2n minus 1 into lambda d by 2d. This is for the nth minima. Okay, y is equals to this. Now for both, like this, the minima of this wavelength and this wavelength, when they will coincide, when the distance will be same. So we can write 2n minus 1 for lambda 1 d by 2d is equals to, let us take, that is mth for the second one, 2m minus 1 into lambda 2 into d by 2d. This d by 2d is constant, that is getting cancelled. Now what is lambda 1? Lambda 1 is 450, lambda 2 is 550. So 2n minus 1 into 450 is equals to 2m minus 1 into lambda 2 is 550. This will get cancelled. 5 into 9, 5 into 11. It means they both will be equal if this is 11 and this is 9. Only when they will be equal, isn't it? We need the smallest values, okay? Smallest distance we need, therefore I am taking the smallest value. This is 11 and this is 9, so 11 into 9 will be 9 into 11. So how much is the distance? This is 11, you put. So my y, the minimum distance will become 11 lambda 1 d by 2d. That's all. 2n minus 1 is 11, so put 11 here, lambda 1 d by 2d. Now find what is the value of y. 11 into, what is lambda 1? 450 nanometer. So 450 into 10 to the power minus 9 into, what is d? 1.5 meter. So 1.5 divided by 2 into, what is small d? That is 2.25. So 2.25 and that is in mm, so 10 to the power minus 3. Let us take help of calculator to do some calculations here. What it is? This is 11 into 450 into 1.5 divided by 2, then 2.25. So this becomes 1650 into 10 to the power minus 6. So this I can say this is 1.6 mm. Yeah, this is in meter. Okay, this is in meter. So we write in mm. So 1.6 into 10 to the power minus 3 meters. Okay, so that will become 1.6 mm. Sir, YDSC was numerical. Okay, thank you for telling. So student is mentioning, some student is telling that this question was actually in numerical. Okay, yeah, thank you for mentioning that. Memory based means this only. Some student tell some part of the question and then we try to think, okay, what can be there? Okay, some options will be there. Let us create 4 options. Okay, if the angle of minimum deviation delta minimum produced by a prism is equal to refracting angle of prism, then find the range of refractive index mu of the prism. How we relate minimum deviation and refractive index? We know mu is equals to sine of a plus del minimum by 2 divided by sine of a by 2. This is how we relate. Now here it is given that delta minimum is a. My del minimum is given as a. If del minimum is a, put a there. So this will become sine a divided by sine a by 2. So this becomes my mu. What I can write sine a as 2 sine a by 2 cos a by 2. Write that. So 2 sine a by 2 into cos of a by 2 divided by sine of a by 2. So this got cancelled. So this comes out to be 2 cos of a by 2. Okay. What is the minimum value of the refractive index? 1. What is the minimum value of this? You can say, sir, from here we can get 0. But that is not possible because we know that minimum value of the refractive index is 1. So minimum mu is 1. What can be the maximum possible value from here? Maximum possible value can be when a tends to 0, means very, very small. So this becomes equal to 2. So less than 2, greater than 1, isn't it? Okay, this is also there, but I didn't attempt it. This. Okay, which question you are talking about? You are talking about this one. This question was not difficult, isn't it? Like, you need to remember only the formula. If you remember the formula, then put delta minimum is equals to a. Nothing complicated here, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, another question. Let us read. Oh, this is a beam of power 2 microwatt is hitting a metal surface. Beam contains photons of wavelength 662 nanometer. Find the number of photons striking. How much energy per second? This is the energy per second. How many number will be there? Number of photons there. So let us take n into energy of one photon. Okay, number of photons per second into energy of one photon. This becomes my total energy. Okay, what is that total energy? This is my 2 into 10 to the power minus 6 divided by hc by lambda. What is h? 6.6 into 10 to the power minus 34 into c 3 into 10 to the power 8 divided by lambda. What is lambda? Lambda will go in the numerator. 662 nanometer. So 662 into 10 to the power minus 9. Yeah, things are okay. So this will become 10 to the power minus 26. Okay, 10 to the power minus 26, and this is 3 into 6.6. 3 into 6.6. Oh, sorry, this is 26 now. 26. Okay, now in the numerator it will become 2 into 662 into 10 to the power how much? Minus 15. So 10 to the power minus 15, this is 10 to the power minus 26, it will become 10 to the power 11 into what else? Let us use calculator again. So 2 into 662 divided by, this is 3 into 6.6 it is. Okay, so this comes out to be 66.86. Okay, this I can write as 6.68 into 10 to the power 12 number of photons per second. Okay, so the nearest option is 6.67 into 10 to the power 12. Bro, just because you are Einstein, it doesn't mean it's easy to everyone. Thank you for telling. Actually, I was telling that here, I told that this question is easy. Why I told? Because if you know this formula, like this is minimum deviation formula, and it is expected that if you are studying prism, so at least this minimum deviation formula everybody should remember. Okay, if you didn't forgot this formula, then it's okay. I'm just telling. Okay, you should remember this. Now if you know this formula, then you have to just put del minimum is equals to A in this. There is like nothing like more steps or something complicated equations we need to solve. Therefore I was telling that actually. Okay, so don't take it otherwise. Certainly teacher can say things, so this is very easy, but students know like understanding that takes some time. Actually in my question paper it was given as 6 milliwatt. Okay, so one student is mentioning that instead of 2 microwatt it was 6 milliwatt. Thank you. So if that is 6, here instead of 2 into 10 to the power minus 6, we will take 6 into 10 to the power minus 3. Everything else will remain the same. One question on mean free path. Now you see, previously also we had question on mean free path. Now if you like attended the previous live, so you might have got the point, like from mean free path questions are coming. Let us remember the formula. Now let us do this question here. Mean free path of gas particles of diameter this at temperature this and pressure this. So temperature, pressure and diameter is given. We know the formula lambda is equals to 1 by root 2 pi d square n. I need diameter, I need small n. Small n means number of particles per unit volume. Now small n is not given directly here. We need to find small n from pressure and temperature thing. So I can write PV is equals to nRT. N is number of moles, that is number of particles divided by Avogadro number into RT. Thus we can write. Now P n by V will become my small n, isn't it? Yeah. P Na by RT, this becomes my n by V, and this is actually my this small n. Now just put the things together. 1 by root 2 pi d square, d is 5, 5 square is 25 into angstrom it was, so 10 to the power minus 10 square 10 to the power minus 20 into n. N is now P into Na by Kt or by RT, or you can write P by Kt. R by Na we write Boltzmann constant, isn't it? Like this becomes my P by Kt. This also I can write. So what is P? P is this 138, okay, 1.38. So 1.38 into 10 to the power 5 divided by K. K is 1.38 into 10 to the power minus 23. K is R by Na, you must remember that value, into T. What is temperature here? Temperature is 41 degrees Celsius. So you convert that to Kelvin by adding 273. So 4, 11, 314. Writing here, okay, T was in the numerator, so 314. Now 1.38, 1.38, 3.14, 314. So 10 to the power 2 will come. And what else? This is 10 to the power minus 20, then 5. So my 10 to the power minus 15 will remain here. Okay, minus 15 will go in the numerator. So 10 to the power plus 15. So 10 to the power 8 will remain there. So 10 to the power 8 there. And what else? This is 10 to the power 2. Sorry, minus 8 and 2. 10 to the power minus 6 will be there. 10 to the power minus 6. And here we are having 1 divided by root 2 into 25. Okay, now let us take, everything is in nanometer, isn't it? Like convert that to nanometer. So this will become 1000 divided by root 2 into 25. So this much nanometer. 25 into 4, 0. Root 2 into, this will become 2 root 2 into 10. Yeah, 4 into 10. 4 we cancel with 2 root 2, this will become 2 root 2. So 2 root 2 is 1.4 into 2, that is 2.8. Okay, 1.414 into 2 if we do, so this will become 2.828. So 2.828 into 10 nanometer. So this becomes 28.28. That is option C. Sir, will it become 2 into 10 to the power 14 if it was 6 milliwatt? Just do the calculations. I think you are better than me at calculations. Okay, so if it is 6 milliwatt, okay, so multiply this with 3 and 10 to the power 3 will also come. So 10 to the power 9 there, sorry, 10 to the power 3 will come there. So 10 to the power 3, 10 to the power 15, and here 6.6 into 3. That is 18 point something into, yeah, nearly, almost that. Yeah, thank you. Same thing. Okay. I think 10 to the power is the difference. 10 to the power 3, 15 plus 1, 16 I think. 2 into 10 to the power nearly 16 it will become. Yeah, power 16. Yeah, thank you, thank you. Somebody mentioned that. Yes. Okay, next question on error. Find the percentage error in K. Okay, this is the formula. Given that 60 oscillations completes in 50 seconds. 60 oscillations completes in 50 seconds. Time resolution is 2 seconds. Now M is given to us and delta M is given to us. So Tukka saved me there. Okay, great. Now we need to find error in K. So if I write K expression from here, so K will be equal to 2 pi square into M by T square. 2 pi is a constant. So when I write delta K by K from here, this will be equal to delta M by M plus 2 delta T by T. This is how we write. Now what is delta M by M? Delta M is given 10 milligram. What is M? 10 gram. So 10 milligram. Milligram means you divide with 1000 to convert that to gram. And M was 10 gram plus 2 into delta T. I measured a value of 50 seconds. In that the error will be 2 seconds. Don't think we need to find time for one oscillation or like that. No. I measured 50-second time. Doesn't matter of how many oscillations. In that 2 second can be the error, because the smallest time I can measure is 2 seconds. So I measured 50-second time, in that error can be 2. Okay, the least count is 2. So delta T is my 2 divided by 50. Want to convert that to percentage error? This will multiply with 100. Now write it. So this will become 1 by 10 here, 1 by 10% plus here if you do 50 into 2, so this will become 8%. So what is this? 8.1%. That is option D. No sir, they gave 50 oscillations. Nothing will change. Even if you know, answer is independent of that 60 actually. Answer depends on this measurement, the measurement of T. Even if you make it 100, nothing will change. Is that okay? Okay. And next question. In a balanced Wheatstone bridge, R2, R3 is to R1, R4, okay. Because of heating, R3 increased by 20%, then the potential difference across AB is. Now if you change R3, increase or decrease, certainly some potential difference will come here. We need to find that potential difference. Now it is increased by 20%. Increased by 20% means 20% of 5 is 1. So it will become 6. Instead of 5, this becomes 6 ohm. Everything else remains same. Okay, I need potential difference between A and B. Can I write this current? Total potential difference across these two resistors is 40. So this current will be 40 divided by this total resistance 30. 40 divided by 30. This is 4 by 3 ampere. Can I write this current here? Total potential across these two resistors is 40. Total resistance is 10 plus 6, 16. So this is 40 by 16. Okay, 40 by 16. So 4 into 10, 4 into 4, this becomes 5 by 2 ampere. Now I need potential difference between these 2 points. This point is at the same potential, so IR minus IR. Okay, this I into this R minus this I into this R. So that magnitude of the difference you just need. Okay, so magnitude of I1 R1 minus I2 R2, that only you need. Okay, that is my VA minus VB, just magnitude of VAB. How I wrote this? Because when you go from this point is common. Okay, so when I write the potential of VB, I will say that is my VE minus IR. When I write the potential of VA, I will say V minus IR here. Okay, and then you take the difference of the two, it will become like this. So what it is, 4 by 3 into 20 minus 5 by 2 into 10. Okay, so that is 80 by 3 minus 50 by 2. This is 25. This is 3 into 2, 26.67 minus 26. So this is 1.67. 1.67 volt. R1 is equals to R2 is equals to R3 is equals to R4. I think you are talking about the actual paper. Okay. So in the actual paper, students, R की value नहीं दी थी. R1 is equals to R2 plus R3 R4 था और 10% increase किया था उसके बाद. Thank you. Okay. Rishika is saying that in the actual paper, these values were not given. Okay, all the registers were equal, each R. Okay, then one register was changed by 10%. Okay, so take all the 4 as R, then this will become 1.1 R. Okay, and then you write the same way VA minus VB and you will get the value. Thank you for telling that. Yeah, R was same. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, therefore I am saying in memory based means these things, these type of things you will find. Now match the two columns and choose the correct options. Coefficient of viscosity, dimension, surface tension, pressure and work. First of all, let us do for viscosity. How? Force is equals to 6 pi r eta v. From Stokes law we know. This is dimensionless. Okay, eta is having dimensions of force divided by r into velocity. Force dimension is mass into acceleration. So that is mlt minus 2 divided by r is L and v is Lt minus 1. Okay, so what it will become from here? This will become m L to the power minus 1 and then t to the power minus 1. Is it right? T to the power minus 1 there? Yes, and L to the power minus 1. Yeah. M L to the power minus 1, T to the power minus 1. D option. So for P we are getting D. I'm not going to the options because anyways these options are created, so will not be exact. So for P we are getting D. Then Q, surface tension is force per unit length. Okay, force per unit length. Force is mlt minus 2. If you divide with length L, it will remain mlt minus 2. So mlt minus 2, that is A. So here we are getting A. This was D here. Then pressure is force by area. So here it will become L2. So it will become ml minus 1 T minus 2. ml minus 1 T minus 2. B. Then work. Work is force into the distance. That is energy also. So ml2 T minus 2. That is C. So we are getting DABC. DABC. That is B option. Yeah. That is B option. I only checked pressure because I only know that. Okay, and like if the options are like that, you need to check only one. Like these options are not exactly what they were in the exam, but if let us take such options are there, you can just only check for P. If P is there, then you know you can mark one of that. So you can use that also. I think you use the same way. Okay, now we will have some questions on chemistry or maths. Let us see. I think Dipendra sir might be coming. Okay, so Gaurav sir is coming. So Gaurav sir, it's over to you.
Yes, guys. So I'm there with the final set of questions for you. Yeah, I am the guy. How was your paper, boss? I just, when I logged off, Sumit sir came, I saw your name. So how was your paper? 300? Question mark? You're asking, you are getting 300 odd. Chalo. So, okay. So, Rudra Patel. Rudra Patel is also saying, okay, so you must be talking something about the physics question. Okay. So, Rudra Patel, I am the guy. Hekram F6. I mean, these names I love reading, huh? And one is Atal Bhardwaj. So, I hope everybody is here. So, let us, we have attempted till here. So, let us attempt the last few questions which we have gathered for chemistry. The first question that we have, the next question that we have to discuss. Yes. So the question says, among scandium plus 3, chromium plus 2, manganese plus 3, cobalt plus 2 plus 3, number of isoelectronic species are n. So first we have to check that how many are isoelectronic species, and that number will be that total number of molecules which are isoelectronic will be n. So let us find that n first. So it's a D block topic in that case. So we already know the rhyme Shakti, Walker, Man, Fe, Koni, Sujan. So scandium is having, so this is scandium, then we have chromium, then we have manganese, then we have cobalt. So this is 21, 24, 25 and 27. Now scandium is in +3 state, so we do not even have to write the electronic configuration. We just have to find whether they are isoelectronic or not. So if you remove 3 electrons, you will be ending up with 18 electrons. If you remove 2 electrons, you will be ending up with 22 electrons. Manganese is in +3, so 25 minus 3 is again 22. Cobalt is in +3, so 27 minus 3 is 24. So isoelectronic species, it is quite easy, no rocket science. These two are isoelectronic, so n, value of n will be definitely 2. वर्क शायद 700 के पास था beta. So physics ended. Let's see some chemistry questions, please. So n is 2. Now 2 moles of AgCl is obtained because it is saying n. Now we know value of n is 2. So 2 moles of AgCl is obtained when excess of silver nitrate reacts with 1 mole of this complex. Now after D block, this question has joined hands with coordination chemistry. So we know there is ionizable valency and there is unionizable, the primary valency which stays inside the coordination sphere. So how many chlorine are ionizable, this question is saying? Okay. So I think this question has a printing error. Chlorine is also 3 in number in the given question. And out of these 3 chlorines, how many chlorines are getting ionized? 2. Why? Because when 1 mole of this complex is treated with excess of AgNO3, how many moles of AgCl we have? N. And value of N we have recently discovered it is 2. So how many moles of AgCl? 2. So there will be 2 chlorine outside. So that means complex will be cobalt. Ethylene diamine, which is a bidentate ligand, are 2 in number. Then we have ammonia also, and out of these 3 chlorine, I am putting 1 chlorine inside the coordination sphere and 2 chlorine outside, because these 2 chlorine will be giving us 2 moles of AgCl. So this is done deal. Now number of T2G electrons in the complex. Now for this complex we have to find number of T2G. So 170 according, okay, 170, I'm the guy, okay, I'm the guy is answering 170 according to some video. So I'm the guy, perfect. I mean, whatever you have done is the best for you. So if you feel that you have not able to attempt to that extent, then obviously you should give it a try in the April attempt as well, because for April attempt also, for advance also you will be getting questions around NCERT. At least 40, 45, 50% of the paper of advance is also concerning to mains level of questions. You just have to be vigilant enough in order to find that 50% of easy and moderate questions first, then go to better questions later on. And even if you advance attempt 45, 40, 50% of the paper, you anyway you are landing up at an AIR of around 5,000, maybe 4,500. Even by attempting easy and moderate question, you can easily get an AIR of around 2,500. I'm telling you. Do not just leave those difficult questions. So JEE, especially advanced, is not a paper of selection. It is a paper of rejecting questions. So chemistry was breathtaking. Beta, chemistry was quite easy. Atul Bhardwaj. Chemistry was breathtaking, as in it was giving you, okay, breathtaking is definitely a wrong word. That means you felt chemistry was difficult. I feel, beta, Especially in this session, chemistry was 28th January session 2 chemistry was very doable, very easy. I mean, with respect to other sessions of chemistry that we had. So coming to this cobalt, what is the oxidation state? Sir, +3. Cobalt is what? 4s2, 27, 4s2, 3d7. So 3 electrons gone, 4s gone, and 3d7 will become 3d6. So this is 3d6 configuration, cobalt +3. But this 3d6, remember, cobalt with +3 oxidation state, for this even ammonia acts as a strong field ligand. When ammonia, we have got such question in the previous sessions also. So ammonia act as a strong field ligand. This was the most trickiest part in this, because it is a strong field ligand, so T2G and EG splitting will be large enough. So whole of the 6 electrons will be coming to 1, 2, 3, because splitting is large enough, so pairing will take place. So how many electrons you have in T2G set? 6. How many electrons you have in EG set? 0. Question is asking you number of electrons in T2G set, so your answer will be beautifully 6. All the 6 electrons will be there. All about +3 power. Yes, so this was the trickiest part, that for cobalt even ammonia acts as a strong field ligand, and even one ammonia will have that sufficient amount of splitting so that T2G will be of lesser energy and EG will be of very high energy. So I mean, this point was actually a trickiest thing. I mean, the relatively the trickier thing. Moving forward. Now a question of the direct application of de Broglie and de Broglie wavelength. We know de Broglie tells us that wave nature is inversely proportional to particle nature. So lambda de Broglie becomes equal to h upon mv, but instead of that momentum, if we write under root of 2mqv, because if any charge is from rest is accelerated using a potential v, the momentum acquired by it becomes 2 into mass into charge of that particle into the potential that has been applied. I hope we are familiar with this formula. Now the question says an alpha particle. Now what is alpha particle? Alpha particle is actually like helium +2, are accelerated in discharge tube under the same potential of this much volt. So whatever be the volt, because potential is same, so in the ratio it will be getting cancelled, so leave it. Now the de Broglie wavelength of proton, now you have to compare of proton and of alpha particle, is this much times of de Broglie wavelength of alpha particle. So let us apply this formula first for proton and then for alpha particle, which is nothing but helium +2. Now this will be nothing but h upon under root of 2 will remain 2. Mass of proton, let us say it is mp, into what is charge on proton, let's say it's positive e, so plus e, into potential, let's say whatever be the value will be v only, because both are accelerated with the same potential, so it will be getting cancelled, upon under root of 2 will remain 2. Mass of proton, it will be actually 4 times mass of proton, because helium mass number is 4, so that will be 4 times of mass of proton and neutron are same, so 4 times of mass of proton. Charge on helium is double, so it is not e, it is 2e. Potential is same, so now this is a basic into divide for you, a basic into divide. So everything gone, this 2, this mass of proton, this electronic charge and this potential. So what we are left with, I guess 4 into 2. So 4 into 2 is 8. So this is under root of 8 upon 1. What is under root of 8? This is 4 into 2 as in 2 root 2. So it is saying 2 root 2. So what will be the value of x? 2. Simple. Yes, perfect. Perfect, Atul. Perfect. I had solved integer type question correctly, 200 answer, but I can't type it. I think it gets wrongs. So Sujal, even if you're saying your answer that you would be getting is 200, but you can't write it, so maybe the concept that is used is the same. So answer was 2. Okay, Atul is saying answer was 2 only. Yes, beta. If this was the question, then answer is definitely 2. Moving to the last question which we have gathered for chemistry. So this question says the major product formed of which of the following reaction is okay. You just have to revise all the reactions and say which reaction is wrong. So let us go to the first reaction. Br2 in presence of heat. Sir, whenever Br2 is subjected to sunlight or high temperature, then addition does not take place. Allylic substitution will take place, because high temperature and sunlight breaks that C bond H bond, and a allylic carbon is produced, which is resonance stabilized allylic carbocation, and over there substitution takes place. So because this is a perfectly matched product, hence not an answer, because we are supposed to tell the wrong reaction. Now, sir, this is an alkene Br2 in CH2Cl2 as in a polar solvent. I mean, this will definitely have some polarity. So addition reaction will take place. Addition reaction as in trans addition. Br will be getting added in NT position, but it is now doing allylic substitution. So what should it do? It should form this. It should form addition reaction, Br and Br. Let's say this is wedge, so this will be dash, because addition of Br2 is NT. Although this is not asked, so whatever question product it is giving, because product is wrong, therefore this is our answer. But let us do the other options also. Now, this is CH3 is plus hyperconjugating group, so it is an electron donating group, will create electron density at ortho and para position. So once you attack Br2 in presence of Lewis acid, electrophilic substitution will take place, and ortho and para bromotoluene will be produced. Definitely correct, where para will be major product because it will be having lesser steric hindrance. But yes, both para, ortho and para isomers will be produced. So this is also correct, hence not an answer. Right. Mamta is saying this is correct. Yes, beta, this is correct. Now, this is your classic diazonium salt when reacts with. This should be Cu2Br2, as in cuprous bromide in presence of HBr. So this is classic Sandmeyer's reaction resulting into the formation of bromobenzene. So because this is also a correct reaction, therefore not an answer for us. So whatever questions, I guess I have discussed around 18 questions of chemistry with you. These all are the questions that we have gathered for you till now. So this is it from my chemistry side, and I hope you have done hugely good as per as your efficiency. Chemistry for this session was quite doable, and there was no bouncers as such, which the questions which I have got, I am the guy saying is -1. Maybe you have attempted. I chose option B. So beta, option B is correct, because option B over here is correct, because you were supposed to tell the incorrect question, and incorrect option is option B only. So I'm the guy. Okay, D, we also have a de Broglie over here. No sir, I have no alpha and no proton. It was just M1 and M2, and the answer is 2. So beta, whatever be the question, because again I'm saying this is a memory based question, so logics what we discuss are definitely has been asked, but values, integer type questions, the options may fluctuate. So this is it from my side. All the very best for your paper. I guess now I'm ending from my side. Sumit sir or Deepen sir will be joining. So take care guys. Bye bye.
And we are having one last question on physics. So just one last question. Okay. Let us read this. This question is of error. We had discussed one question also from error. I don't know, like there were 2 questions in the exam from error. One we took was time period was given there 2 pi root m by k. Another question is this related with the speed. Okay, so I don't know, there were 2 questions, but we got 2 questions from memory based. Can you please mention any student who appeared today in the exam? Can you mention that there were 2 questions on error? This is the second question that I'm going to discuss on error. So here velocity is related with the Young's modulus. What it is? Velocity, find the maximum percentage error in V, given that delta y by y is this and delta p by b is this. Okay, anyways, so just see the relation is there. So y to the power is 1 by 2, p to the power is -1 by 2. So delta v by v, when I write, I'll say 1 by 2 into delta y by y plus 1 by 2, this is y, plus 1 by 2 into delta p by p. This into 100 into 100 to convert it to percentage error. No, this is not there. This question is not there in the exam. Okay, no, there was no. Okay. Thank you. Therefore, I was thinking like we got two questions on error. Like there is confusion if there are actually two questions of error or there is like only one question. Anyways, so somebody is saying that this question was not exactly. Was there any difference? Like was there any question similar to this or some expression somewhere given like this in the question? Mamta Pawar, please mention. Okay, anyways, if I relate here, delta y by y into 2, 1 into 1 by 2 is half percent because delta y by y into 100 is 1. Okay, so this becomes 1 by 2% plus 1 by 2 into the percentage error in P, that is 0.5, that is 1 by 2%. So 1 plus 1 by 2, that becomes 3 by 4 or 0.75%. 0.75 means B from here. I was too worried and I only attended 12 questions from physics. Okay, I'm the guy telling only 12 questions you did. Okay, thank you. No, it wasn't there. De Broglie. Oh, thank you. I don't think like there must be two questions on error. So we discussed from LLM a question of pseudo force, then a semiconductor logic gate question, simple ray optics, lens maker formula, prism, minimum deviation question, then waves. We had one question on beats, rotation, rotational kinetic energy, and there was one logical question, torque, like whether the torque will change when we change the sign of R. Nuclei question, mass relationship with radii, the dimensions. We get one where which physical quantity was measurable, it was asked, and then another dimensions matrix was there. Error question from SHM was there. Another error question, we discussed this, but student mentioned that this was not there. Few are telling that no idea about it. Anyways, and then one question on YDSC where we need to relate the minima of the two wavelengths for the two wavelengths. Then dual nature, we had number of photons, like finding the energy of one photon, total energy was given. Then KTG, mean free path, then current, electricity, weed, stone, bridge. Okay, now magnification question. Okay, anyways, so now Deependra sir will come join us with question on maths. Okay, so Deependra sir, it's over to you. So we have completed the physics section and the chemistry section is also done. I think now the last remaining portion is of maths. So Deependra sir is joining.
Started the stream from my end. I hope I'm clearly visible and audible. Just give me a quick response so that we can get started with the maths section. So can we get started? Students, are you all there? Listening, watching and understanding this session. I'll be with all the remaining questions of maths will be doing. Can we get started? Just give me a quick response. Are we visible, audible? I think Sumit sir has ended the session and I must be very clearly visible to everyone. Great. So with that, let's get started. It says Z is a complex number. Whenever somebody says mod Z minus 2 is doesn't equal to 4, we know Z minus 2. So Z minus 2 means what? A circle centered at 2, 0 having radius 4. Less than equal to means all the area, all the points which are lying inside or on the circle, which means all the points which are lying inside or on the circle. Circle having center at 2, 0 x-axis and having radius 4. So 6, 0 and minus 2, 0 will be the extremes on the x-axis if I talk about the diagonal. I hope you all are there listening and understanding, which says that here mod Z minus 2 plus mod Z plus 2 is less than equal to 4. It could have been an ellipse. I hope you remember that. But if it could have been an ellipse. But here, the problem is this 4. If you look at this 2 and this 2, the distance between minus 2 and 2 is 4. So if this distance between the foci is equal to this, then this will not be representing the ellipse. I hope you remember that. And with that, if this distance is greater than the distance between these two foci, then it is called ellipse. But since it is 4, which is equal to between the distance between minus 2 and 2, I hope you remember the locus of ellipse. Do you remember the locus of ellipse? The locus of a point which moves in such a way that sum of its distances from two fixed points remains constant. But that constant distance should be greater than these two distances, the distance between the foci. I hope you are understanding it. So the distance between foci and the length of the major axis is same. That means it cannot be an ellipse. In that case, it will be simply a line segment, which means you are talking about if let's say this complex number is, this is A, this is B. So A is representing all the points lying inside or on the circle. So B complex number, B set is representing all those complex number or all those points which are lying on this line segment. Which line segment? Minus 2, 0 to 2, 0. So between minus 2, 0 to 2, 0, there is a line segment On this line segment, there are points lying on it. So this yellow line is representing all the complex numbers B, and all the complex number lying inside the circle are representing the set A. I hope you all are listening, understanding, watching it very clearly. With that, what are we told? Maximum of, this should have been mod, maximum of Z1 minus Z2. What does it mean? It means the distance between Z1 and Z2, and we need the maximum distance here. So I see this yellow line represents Z2. This yellow line represents Z2, and the all the region inside this circle represents Z1. I hope you can see it very clearly. So this B is basically what? Z2, this line here. So if I take the liberty to choose any point randomly on the circle or in the circle and on this line, so that they are separated by the farthest distance, by the maximum possible distance, I wouldn't hesitate in choosing Z2 over here and Z1 over here, so that I can have the maximum distance. You cannot have any other set of 2 points which will be at a maximum distance rather than that. I hope you are understanding it with the help of intuition. How are we cracking it? I hope there is no confusion on the data. Thank you. With that, when I go ahead with this, can I now finally conclude what could be the final answer from here? I hope you need to give the maximum of Z1 minus Z2, which means this distance, which means the length of the diameter. And when you talk about the length of the diameter, you wouldn't hesitate in saying the radius was 4, so 4 plus 4 is 8. So 8 should be the correct answer. With that, when I move ahead with the next question, again an easy one. Simple, decent questions are asked from sequence and series. They never ask you tough or heavy questions. Have a look at that. Arithmetic mean of 1 by a and 1 by b is 5 by 16. So 1 by a plus 1 by b should be 5 by 16 times 2. I hope you got that. What is 1 by a and 1 by b? Let's work it out. So we are told a, 4, alpha and b are in an increasing AP. So let's say this is 4 minus d, this is 4 plus d, this is 4 plus 2d, where d I'm assuming to be the common difference. I hope you're comfortable with that. This is an increasing AP, mind you. So here a we can take as 4 minus d, so 1 upon a will be 1 upon 4 minus d. B can be taken as 4 plus 2d as per the AP, so it can be taken as 1 upon 4 plus 2d, 1 by b. And the AM, arithmetic mean of these two terms, should be 2 times the AM. The AM of this will be divided by 2, should be 5 by 16. If you rearrange it, you get a quadratic in D. I'm skipping that calculation part. I'm just giving you the simplest idea that when you solve this quadratic in D, you get two values of D. One will be positive, other will be negative. Now tell me, if it is an increasing AP, which value are you supposed to take? You will be discarding the negative common difference. So with that, we conclude that the common difference will be 2. Everyone with me on this? Once you have cracked D, can you help me with A? A will be 4 minus D, that's 2. Can you help me with the second element, which is, of course, the second element is 4. Can you help me with the third element, alpha, which is 4 plus D, that is 4 plus 2, that's 6. Can you help me with B? I hope you wouldn't hesitate in saying 2, 4, 6, so the next element will be 8. Now, can you not help me in writing the answer to this question? Okay, I totally get that. This is a memory based paper, so whatever we have received, we are trying to bring that here. So this is alpha x square, so alpha is 6, so this should be 6x square minus ax means what? Minus 2x. I hope you all are there with me. Plus 2 times alpha minus 2b, which means 6 minus 2b, that is 16, is equal to 0. Now I hope you can solve this quadratic. You can find its root, and with that quadratic, once you figure out its root, you can find out in which domain they lie. I hope it's clearly not a tough question. Doable, absolutely doable. Maths in this section was absolutely easy. Look at this question, how easy this question was. Can you ask something for easier than this in mathematics section? You wouldn't, you will not. It says range of f of x, signum of sin x, signum of cos x, signum of tan x, signum of cot x. X cannot be a multiple of pi by 2. Great. With that, n can be an integer. With that regard to this, where signum they are defining, we know the definition of signum very clearly. We know that sine, cos, tan, these are all cyclic functions, they are all periodic functions. So let me divide my question into quadrants. First, second, third, fourth, because the same quadrant will repeat for the same set of 4 different quadrants, 4 different, so it will keep on repeating the angles and the values. So let me generalize my result with this. So if I begin with the first quadrant, we know in the first quadrant all the ratios are positive. So positive. So signum of positive will be 1. So 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, that gives you 4. So in the first quadrant, this gives you a fixed value 4. I hope you all are there listening, understanding and clearly getting what I'm trying to say here. But in the second quadrant, what do we have, sir? In the second quadrant, sin x is positive. So this will be 1, this will be -1, this will be -1, and cot will also be -1. So with that, it will be -2. I hope, can you ask for something simpler than this? This is IIT JEE Mains for you. The last shift of 28th January, the second shift of the last shift of first session. Next will be in April. This was pure luck, I would say. If it was easy, it will be easy for everyone, and the cutoff will go, of course, high. Third quadrant, we know in the third quadrant, 10 and cot are positive. So 1 plus 1, -1 -1. So -1 -1 +1 +1. So 2 minus 2 is 0. In the fourth quadrant, we clearly know cos x will be positive. Other 3 will be negative. So 1 minus 3, that is again -2. Now what are we asked? We are asked its range. So its range will be 4 minus 2, 0. So I'll say 4 minus 2 and 0 are given in the option B, and that's your answer. Was it really tough? Was it really difficult? Can I move ahead with that? Let's see the next question from here. Do you not remember in the one shot of quadratic equations, have we not discussed that x to the power n plus y to the power n is always divisible by x by y as long as n is an odd natural number? Do you remember that? Do you not remember that? Can you recall something like this? I hope you all can. So with that, I'll say here, if I could see 25 and 3. So this is 25 to the power 13, 3 to the power 13. 25 to the power 13 plus 3 to the power 13 will definitely be divisible by 25 plus 3, that's 28. And along with this, 20 to the power 13 and 8 to the power 13 will also be divisible by 20 plus 8, that is 28. So this is divisible by 28, this is divisible by 28, which means this entire expression is divisible by 28. And 28 is further divisible by 7, which means this entire expression will be divisible by 7. So yes, statement 1 is undoubtedly correct. A simple fact-based question. Okay, great. So right now, let's have a discussion on this. Then I'll definitely give you my verdict, my conclusion about the paper, about everything. But let us right now watch what do we have here. In the second statement, have you not seen this category of questions? You were being taught this category of question. Do you not remember that? 7 plus 4 root 3 is raised to the power 25. So let's say this will have an integral part, this will have a fraction part. I hope you remember that. And that will be I plus f, which I'm writing as 7 plus 4 root 3 to the power 25. Now we know that I can define f dash, which can be written as 7 minus 4 root 3 to the power 25. I hope you remember that. If you have any confusion on that, let's say 7 and 4 root 3 are there. So what is the square of 7? Sir, square of 7 is 49. What is the square of 4? 16 and 3, that is 48. I hope you are clearly getting it. So if I square and I can clearly see 49 is greater than 48, that means 7 is greater than 44 root 3. And they are very close. They are very close. I hope you're understanding. I hope you're understanding it very clearly. But of course, this is greater than this. So this will lie between 0 to 1. So if it lies between 0 to 1, its higher power will also lie between 0 to 1. So we can clearly say that this f dash over here, just give me a second everyone, this f dash over here will lie between 0 to 1. With this I plus f, this I will be an integral part, this f will also be a value between 0 to 1. So we can say f plus f dash both lie between 0 to 1. So their sum will lie between 0 to 2. I hope you are understanding this fact very clearly without any hesitation or confusion. Can I move ahead from here? Are you all there listening, understanding, watching clearly? With that, when I go ahead, now let's do this. I hope you have remembered this process, the modus operandi, the standard operating procedure we have been following, where we say that I plus f dash is what you do. I hope you remember that. So I plus f is this, f dash is this. When you expand it, a plus b to the power n, a minus b to the power n. So all the terms with odd powers of b will get eliminated. I hope you remember that. A plus b to the power n plus a minus b to the power n. So what am I going to be left with is 25c1, the even power of b, and this. I hope you remember that. So 25c1, 4 root 3 to the power 25 minus 1, 7 to the power 1, plus 25c2 will get cancelled because it will be opposite in sign. Great. So I'm seeing a lot of discussion happening in the comment box. Keep doing that. That is really good. So with that, 25c3 will be 4 root 3 to the power 25 minus 3, 22, 7 to the power 3, and so on. And I hope you all are clearly realizing that all the irrational terms are getting omitted. So I'm left with rational terms. Rational terms, which means integral terms. Integral terms when doubled gives you an even number. So I plus f dash, I plus f plus f dash turns out to be an even number. Turns out to be an even number. If it is an even number, can I not say I will be even number minus f plus f dash? Now imagine this is integer, this is something fraction, should be an integer. This is possible only when f plus f dash should also be an integer. But we know f plus f dash lies between 0 to 2 only. So the only possibility f and f dash, f plus f dash is left with is 1. So f plus f dash should be 1. Everyone with me on this? So I can say I will be 2k minus 1 because this should be concluded as 1. If I is 2k minus 1, so even minus 1, that is clearly odd. So I should be an odd number. I hope you are remembering it. So integral part of this was I, which is an odd number. So both these statements are correct, which you all can mark very easily. Can we move ahead with the next question? A question based on linear differential equations. Can we solve this particular part? How do we do it? Have a look at this. Solution of this differential equation is y is equals to yx. This differential equation, linear differential equation, in every single shift contained one question on linear differential equation. I hope you remember that. From here, the only problem is this x. So I'm dividing both the sides by x. So this becomes dy by dx minus y upon x, x cot x. No confusion on that. I can proceed with that. From here, I hope you can see is dy by dx, px into, of course, px into y is equals to q of x. So with that, when you try to find integrating factor, how do you find the integrating factor? Integrating factor is given by e to the power minus 1 by x dx. I hope you are remembering it. So it will be e to the power minus ln x. I hope there is no confusion on that. So e to the power minus ln x means what? X to the power minus 1. So this gives you 1 by x as your integrating factor. Is it really a tough or a difficult task to find out the solution to this differential equation? You have done it infinitely many times, I believe so. So the solution is given by integrating factor, which is 1 by x into y is equal to integration of integrating factor, which is 1 by x into q of x, which is x cot x. Now, do you not remember the integration of cot x is ln mod of sin x? You can write that. And then you are given y of pi by 2 as pi by 2. So replace x by pi by 2, y also by pi by 2. You get the value of constant of integration c. When you substitute that, I hope figuring out this value is not going to be a difficult task. Did you all understand the whole process? Have you understood the entire approach? Can I move ahead from here? Are you all listening there, watching it and understanding it? Few parts I'm skipping because I know, and you also know, that calculation can be skipped. With that, can we see the next question from here? I hope you all can see the next question right there on the screen. Can you try and solving this particular one here? This clearly says that f of x, where x upon 1 plus mod x is defined, is 1, 1. Now through intuition, you can figure out whether it will be 1, 1 or many 1. Or through some analysis, some observation, you can figure out, because the same question, this first part, statement 1, we have done in a previous analysis as well, few days back. See, I will redefine this function. So the first statement, f of x, can be redefined into two functions. One will be x upon 1 plus x whenever x is positive. Other will be x upon 1 minus x whenever x is negative. Are you all comfortably understanding this? Are you all there? With that, let's find out f dash x. So f dash x, defining f dash x is definitely not a tough task or a challenging task. So here you can use either the product rule or quotient rule, whatever suits you. Let's use the quotient rule. So here it will be 1 plus x whole square. Now derivative of numerator is 1 into denominator as it is, that is 1 plus x, minus numerator as it is, derivative of denominator, which is 1. So 1 plus x minus x leaves you with 1. So it gives you 1 upon 1 plus x whole square. Similarly, when you talk about this is 1 minus x whole square. I hope I'm doing the correct calculation. If I'm making any mistake, do write in the comment box. So here, derivative of numerator is 1. You are left with 1 minus x minus derivative of denominator. So 1 minus x is minus 1. So there you are left with minus 1. I hope I'm doing correct calculation. Into numerator as it is, so that's x. So this plus x minus x are again cancelled, and you're left with 1 upon 1 minus x whole square. This is when x is positive, this is when x is negative. Now why are we discussing all this? This is nothing but f dash x for statement 1, mind you students. Why are you guys writing physics I mean data related to physics in the chat box. We are discussing maths right now. Hold on for a while. I'll complete it in a while. From here, can you not see 1 plus x square is always positive? So this is always positive, this is always positive, which means for all the values of x greater than equal to 0 or less than 0, it is always positive. So if f dash x is always positive, fx is a strictly increasing function. And if fx is a strictly increasing function, will you not conclude that, sir, this is 1 function? Because if it is strictly increasing function, it will be 1. So statement 1 is definitely correct. Statement 2, x cube plus 4x minus 30, x cube plus 4x minus 30 whole divided by x square minus 8x plus 18. So it is x square minus 8x plus 18. So that is your statement 2's fx, right? Now this is again needs to be concluded whether it is many 1 or 1. Okay, let's figure it out. So again, I'll find out f dash x. One of the ways is you put it equal to y and then you figure it out. But I'll say rather than that, I'll use this method, x square minus 8x plus 18 whole square. So denominator is always positive. I'm reaching to a certain conclusion. Can I say something about the numerator? So numerator will be what? The derivative of numerator, that is 3x square plus 4x. Sorry, 3x square plus 4. I hope no confusion on that. Times numerator, denominator as it is. So it is x square minus 8x plus 18 minus what? Minus derivative of denominator. So that should be 2x minus 8 times numerator as it is. Times numerator as it is means what? Times numerator as it is means x cube plus 4x minus 30. Now, the only part which I'm leaving or skipping is that when you solve this numerator, you see a quadratic or biquadratic coming into picture. I think it will be a biquadratic because 2x cube and 3x cube. So it will be a cubic. So when you solve this cubic, it will have at least one root. It will have at least one root. It will have at least one real root. So this f dash x will become 0. That will be either maxima. If f dash x is becoming 0 somewhere, it will give me either a maxima or minima, which means fx will be either maxima or minima. Are you understanding my language? I'm not finding out its result, or we are not interested, sir, x square, not x cube in the question numerator. A, B, C, D, E, O, 3, E. Let me solve it with x cube. But of course, if it is x square, it could be a different solution. But if I could solve even with x square also, this will give me a linear. And with that linear also, okay, so he's saying attended this in today's shift. So if it is x square, let me see what is the change it is bringing. So you're saying that here, it will be x square. Is that what you're saying? Okay, with that also we can figure it out. But through that also it was coming out to be a many 1. Let me conclude that why are we concluding if it is x cube, then it will be many 1. It will be a cubic. Cubic means it will have one real root. So f dash x will definitely be 0 at once. So it will have either maxima or minima. Fx will have either a maxima or minima. So if it is a maxima or minima, which means it was either increasing then decreasing or decreasing then increasing. So if it is either like this or like this, then it is of course many to 1. Even if it is x square, let's say if it is x square, if I solve this with keeping it as x square, what conclusion do I get? So I need to make certain changes here. Let me do that change here. So the numerator will change us little. So here the derivative of numerator, that is 2x plus 4 times what? Times the denominator as it is. So again it will be a cubic minus 8x plus 18 minus derivative of denominator. So that is 2x minus 8 times again numerator as it is. So that is x square. That is x square plus 4x minus 30. And that's what we are seeing in the numerator. So 2x cube is there, 2x cube is there. So it will not be a cubic anymore, but I think it will be a quadratic. Then of course, again, if it is a quadratic, which means it will be having its solution. Now, totally it depends on whether the quadratic has roots or not. So it totally depends whether that quadratic has roots or not. So if that quadratic has real roots, again, it will be many to 1 because it will have maxima and minima. If it doesn't have real roots, then it will not have any maxima or minima. It will be strictly increasing. I hope you're understanding, because if quadratic has negative discriminant, then this is positive, this is also positive. Positive upon positive is positive. So f dash x is always positive. And if f dash x is always positive, it will be strictly increasing, which means fx will be strictly increasing. That means it will not be many 1, it will be 1, 1 in that case. But if f dash x, the numerator has even one root, equal roots I mean to say, if that discriminant is equal to 0, then also it will attain either maxima or minima. And in that case also it will have many 1. It will be a many 1 fx. I hope you have understood all the 3 conclusions which I have tried giving. So I hope there is no confusion on that front. Can I move ahead with the next question? A very simple, interesting and simple data-based question. Conic section, they are asking you every shift, and they are asking you questions based on ellipse, parabola and hyperbola. Usually questions based on ellipse and hyperbola are merged so that they can check concepts of both the chapters through one question only. How do we solve this particular one? X square upon 144, y square upon 169. So you should pay attention on 169 here. Great. That's brilliant, ABCDE. So here I can see that this b square is greater than a square, which means it will have its major axis with as y-axis. I hope you're understanding the language. So here, the eccentricity of this ellipse, e square, is given by 1 minus a square upon b square. I hope you remember that basic nuance here. So with that, we can predict e will be 5 by 13, because 169 minus 144, 25 by 169. So it will be 5 by 13. That's the eccentricity of your ellipse. I hope there is no confusion on that. So I can just hold on for a while. I can write that eccentricity of ellipse. This is the eccentricity of the ellipse. I hope no confusion on that. So how do we define foci? Now foci will be lying on the y-axis, mind you. So it will be 0, BE, 0, minus B, plus minus B. I hope you remember that. So 0, plus minus B means what? B is 13. So 13 into 5 by 13 is 5. So it will be 0, plus minus 5. That is your coordinates of foci. Understood the question. Now they are saying the hyperbola is also having the same focus. So let's figure out the hyperbola. Now they are saying that hyperbola is also having its axis where the foci are lying is on the y-axis. So here it will also be of the 0, plus minus b. But you got to remember, this is x square upon a square minus y square upon b square is equal to minus 1. So of course it will be of that form only. Everyone with me on this? So with that, when I go ahead with that conclusion here, eccentricity of hyperbola will be given by 1 plus a square upon b square, because here a square upon b square should come into picture. The same logic here, a square upon b square. So here also I'll use a square upon b square, because a is less than b. A is going to be less than b. I hope there is no confusion on that. Just give me a second, students. Hold on for a while. Here, when I go ahead with that, just give me a moment. Right. So when I go ahead with that, now what are we told? They have the same foci. Same foci means what? This foci. Now how do I write foci? That will be plus minus BE. What is B? B is lambda. E is what we have already evaluated. So this is BE. This is also B. This is the BE, or the focus of ellipse. This is the focus of hyperbola, but they are saying they are same. So if they are same, which means I can equate it with this. So again, you'll see a quadratic getting formed in lambda. You solve that quadratic in lambda and you can crack the value of lambda. If you are getting two values of lambda, of course, you got to take the value of lambda, which is greater than 16, which is greater than 4, which means lambda square should be greater than 16. I hope you have understood that. Once you have cracked the lambda, I repeat, once you have cracked the lambda, what you've got to do is, E and L denotes the eccentricity and latus rectum of hyperbola. So hyperbola, eccentricity of hyperbola is given by small e, let's say. They are reserving a letter. And capital L is, they are reserving for the length of latus rectum. I hope there is no confusion on that. But again, latus rectum will not be 2b square by, I hope you're understanding it. It will be, if it is having x-axis as its major axis. But here, y-axis is behaving as the major axis, so it will be 2a square by b. What is a here? I hope you're understanding. For hyperbola, a is 4. So a square is 16, b will be lambda. So I hope you can now do the calculation. You equate this with this. This gives you lambda. Once you have cracked the lambda, you can crack the eccentricity, which means you have cracked small e. Once you have cracked small e, or rather lambda only, you can crack, you already have a square, you have lambda, which means b. So with that 2a square by b, you can have the latus rectum, or the length of the latus rectum, so that you can find capital L as well. So with that, you can figure out e plus L times 24, which is not a tough task. I'm skipping that calculation. I'm giving you the concept so that you can work out the solution with some decent number of steps. Can we move ahead with the next question? What do we see here with the next question? Give me a moment, students. So here, the next question. Again, a decent one, a simple one. How are we going to solve this one? Here, an ellipse has center at 1 comma minus 2, focus at 3 comma minus 2, and the vertex at 5 comma minus 2, which means its axis is parallel to the x-axis because y coordinate is same. So if the y coordinate is same, 1 comma minus 2, 3 comma minus 2, and 5 comma minus 2, center, focus, and vertex. I hope you are understanding it. We know this distance is AE and this distance is A. I hope you remember that. What are we asked? We are asked the length of its lattice rectum. So can I say AE will be this length? This length is what? 3 minus 1, 2. And what is A? A is going to be this length, which is 5 minus 1, so that's 4. So when I replace A here, which is 4, E turns out to be 2 by 4, which is 1 by 2. Are you all listening and understanding, students? Are you all there? So once you have cracked E as 1 by 2, now what do we have? We are asked length of lattice rectum. So if I wish to have length of lattice rectum, it is given by 2b square by standard descent ellipse. So with that, I need to have B here. Because we have cracked A, so I need to have B here. So B, I can figure out because I know E is 1 by 2, so it will be 1 by 2 square is equal to 1 minus B square will be B square and A square will be 16. So once you solve this equation, you can get B square. B square when you put here, so 2 times B square by A you already have is 4. B square you can crack, what is here? B square you can already crack from here, that push you here. And there you figure out the length of the lattice rectum, which is definitely not a tough task. Did you all get that? Can I move towards the next question from here? With that, we see a question from probability now. Expectation based question. So in one of the shifts, we have seen a question based on expectation. Now we are seeing a question based on EX. So how do we define expectation? It is given by summation of x into px. I hope you remember that. So with that, when I start with this EX, it is given as 263 by 15. So what I'll do is 4k into this plus 30k by 7 into this plus this 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 into this. That is what you got to do. When you do this, you will get a linear equation in K. I must say that the paper was difficult and I was lengthy. Drop from a terrace. Incredible boy. Great, great, great. So here it will be a linear equation in K. Once you solve that, I'm not solving that because calculation is there. Statistics is all about basic formulae. You can solve those questions within seconds. All you got to do is apply the right formulae. So with that, you get a linear equation in K and you can figure out the value of K. Once you have figured out the value of K, put them here. I have done it. I remember the data, but I have forgotten the value of K. So I'll simply give you that what is needed to be done next. So from here, we are asked P where x is less than 20. So once you get the value of K, you can put that K here, and here. So once you put these values of K here and here, so you will start realizing which of these x are less than 20. So K, as far as I remember, turns out to be 1 by 7. Correct me if I'm wrong. So when you replace K by 1 by 7, 4 by 7, right? This is again 30 by 49. All these values are always, it is not 1 by 7, I believe so. It should be something. It is not 1 by 7. I'm forgetting it, but you got to calculate it. I'm skipping that calculation part because it is amazingly lengthy. I'm skipping that. So with that, when you replace K's value, which you can figure out by using this x into px, summation of that should be E of x. With that, you can say that this into this will give you the value of K. Once you put or pass those K here, you will see few values of x which are greater than 20 and the remaining ones are less than 20. So for the values of x which are less than 20, I got to take the sum of those px. For example, let's say these three values are less than 20. So I just got to take the sum of these three values. Are you all getting it very clearly? Everyone with me on this? I hope it is clearly not a tough question. With that, when I move to the next question, let's solve the next question based on 3D geometry. This is a 12th standard board level question. This is what IIT JEE has asked in this shift. Of course, it is lengthy. It asks for a lot of time. It can be done with a lot of concepts, for example, projection or some distance formula, or a lot of things can be used. But a decent approach, which boards even give you, is simply this. First of all, Q is the image of the point 3, 2, 1 in this line. So if I put this line equal to lambda, I can define a point lying on this line parametrically. That will be lambda plus 1. That will be lambda plus 1. Next will be 2 lambda plus 0, and it will be lambda plus 1 again. Now, why are we finding this point? Have patience now. With that, we know that this line is perpendicular to this line, and this line is having its direction ratios as 1, 2 and 1. Can you help me with the direction ratios of this line? It will be lambda plus 1 minus 3. That will be lambda minus 2. 2 lambda minus 2. I hope you're understanding it. And here it will be lambda plus 1 minus 1. That is lambda. So when you take a1, a2 plus b1, b2 plus c1, c2, it should be 0 because lines are perpendicular. So a1, a2, a2 is 1 plus b1, b2 is 2 plus c1, c2 is 1. So this should be 0. So when you solve this, you get a value of lambda. That value when you push here, of course, it is going to be 1 as per my understanding. So when you get the value of lambda, which turns out to be 1, will give you that 0.222. Now, what is the advantage or point of doing this? That's great. Thank you so much for appreciating it. But now let's learn. Let's focus on learning. So this point, when you push the value of lambda, which is going to be 111 here, when you push it here, you get 222 as the point, which is the image of this point, sorry, feet of this point with respect to this line, on this line. Now we are not interested in feet, we are interested in the image. So if this is the midpoint of this and this, so double of this minus this will be this. So double of 2 is 4, 4 minus 3 is 1, 4 minus 2 is 2, 4 minus 1 is 3. So 1 comma 2 comma 3 will be the coordinates of Q. But this is still, but how to give a comeback in April attempt? We are coming up with that conclusion only tomorrow. Don't worry about that. We are coming up with a very good, a very decent, a very amazing plan tomorrow. Don't worry about that. We'll give you a crystal clear clarity about what we are coming up with. Everything is under the planning stage. We are going to execute it tomorrow. So don't worry about this. We'll roll it out. Don't worry about this. This is a big surprise for you all. How to have a great comeback in April attempt. Don't worry about that. But remember, everybody is going to be prepared. So you got to prepare very hard this time. We'll discuss all of that. Don't worry. But tomorrow. Let's keep it a secret now. Let's focus on this. So we have cracked Q. Once you have cracked Q, what are we asked? The distance of Q from this line. So let's say this is Q. This is that line. So again, how do we find the distance of Q from that line? One of the methods is using projection formula. The other method is same approach. The same approach. Now Q is 1, 2, 3. Any random point parametrically can be taken as, let's say if I put it equal to mu, it will be 3 mu plus 9. 3 mu plus 9, comma 2 mu plus 9, comma minus 2 mu plus 5. Again, I'll say the direction ratio of this line segment will be this minus this plus this minus this plus this minus this, A1, B1, C1. The direction ratio of this line are 3, 2 and minus 2. So A1, A2 plus B1, B2 plus C1, C2 will be 0. With that, you will get the value of mu. The way in which we found the value of lambda, in the same fashion, you can find the value of mu. Once you have cracked mu, you put it here, you get this, this and this. So you get the coordinates of the feet. Why are we getting the coordinates of feet? Because I want to have the distance of this point from this line. So once I crack the feet coordinates, distance formula can be applied and you can figure out the distance. I hope you have understood the approach. Can I move ahead from here? With that, when we solve the next question, or I'd say the final question for the day, what would it be? It would be a very simple task. Our lift is going up. This is something I would say 10th standard kid can also do if he knows permutation and combination. A lift is going up to 10th floor. Number of ways in which something really simple, terribly simple. 3 people can exit the lift at 3 different floors if the lift will not stop at 1st, 2nd and 3rd floor. So lift is going till 10th floor. 1st, 2nd and 3rd, it will not stop it. So I'm still left with 7 floors. So the lift can stop at 3 floors because the people are supposed to exit at 3 distinct floors, 3 different floors. So I cannot make them, depart. Multiple people depart at the same floor. So 3 different floors are to be chosen out of those 7 floors because 3 are already excluded. Now those 3 people at those 3 chosen floors can be, arranged or displaced or removed or can be exited in 3 factorial ways. 3 people, 3 places. 3 factorial. Do you remember that? And I think this is something you all are good at doing. Can we not conclude this? So with that, I'm going to give you a good conclusion about today's shifts, shift 1, shift 2 both. If I talk about 28th January shift 1, it was difficult. Shift 2, easiest, one of the easiest. Yes, you all need a comeback. We are there for you. If I talk about the morning shift, maths was amazingly tough. Factors in 3D, conic, and of course, permutation, combination, all of these chapters dominated with 5 to 7 doable questions. If I talk about the easy set of questions, moderate were also there. So still 10 questions somebody could do if they had a good attempt. With that, if you talk about physics and chemistry, physics was of course lengthy. Modern physics, ray optics, current electricity were the dominating ones. With that, 15 to 17 questions were doable. It was still lengthy, but doable. Chemistry is something which went again beyond your expectation. It again was something unexpected, but still it was moderate. Organic is what something dominated rather than physical and inorganic, but still 15 to 17 questions were doable. So I hope you're learning and realizing now if you're targeting for the April attempt, your focus should be physics and chemistry. You should start making yourself fall into love with physics and chemistry. Maths is something you should master, keep mastering, but have your more inclination towards chemistry and physics. As a teacher of maths, I'm saying so. I hope you're understanding it. We are there to make you excel in maths. Don't worry about that. We are there at every single stage. Elevate JEE crash course is already going on. One shot 15 by 15 series, these analysis, and a lot is coming, which will reveal definitely tomorrow. But here, I hope if you talk about shift 2, everybody is saying, even I said so, that on 28th, JEE is doing something really tough. It will definitely do something tough because 3 days gap was there. So it did it in the shift 1. But people fell into that trap that shift 2 will also be tough. There it again surprised. Everything was easy. Chemistry, physics, maths, I would say something really simple and easy. 12 board level questions were asked. A lot of questions were very simple. Maths, I would say 9 to 10 questions were definitely easily doable. You could have done them within seconds. You see them, solve them 2 to 3 steps, and then you get the answer. Those easy questions were there. Physics and chemistry, moderate, but still doable. Absolutely doable. So this is my conclusion, my verdict on it. I hope we can call it a day. You all have comfortably understood and watched this session. Can we end this now? With that, thank you so much. You have been a great audience. Let's meet tomorrow with a surprise.